news, plus hot topics of the week. Also, remember to follow us on Twitter at KMega4.
Dang, that's the wrong screen, ladies and gentlemen. That just shows you that I was not prepared. Let's go. Let's change this up. Dang, that's the wrong screen. All right, there we go.
It's cool art, though.
I was not prepared. Thank you. Yeah, that's my. Let's change this up. That's the wrong screen. Yeah. Okay. There we go. That was my computer screen. I was just like, what's that doing there? So yeah, and then I'm being a little lazy because I'm going to show last week's gameplay, but then I'm going to add some more gameplay because I still got tons of gameplay. So what I tried to do, right? Okay, so I knew what I had to do. Yes, earlier this morning, and that was to go see Spider-Man. My wife got tickets to go see Spider-Man, so I was like, all right.
So thank the wife for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do? I said I'm going to right after the next podcast. I'm gonna get started, start prepping for the podcast. It's for GRG, and so I said, let's go ahead and do that. But then podcast went long, so then I have to always watch my news shows. That's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big old like nerd, news nerd like that. So I watched my shows, and then all of a sudden I realized that the Gunk was out, and so I started playing the Gunk, and the next thing you know, it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I was like, oh my God, I got to get up in the morning. So I said, I'll get all this stuff done right after I come from the movies. Well, I did not know that Spider-Man No Way Home was like damn near 3 hours long. And then my wife wanted to go do some other things, which I had no choice. And, I had a choice, but, let's spend time with the wife. So come back and I'm rushing to get things done. And then in the process, I did get gameplay for the Gunk. And then I was trying to put it together, and then all of a sudden I had an update, and then it erased everything that I had. So I was like, oh well, hell with it. I'll just have some gameplay of the Gunk or whatever at some other time. Or I'll just show like just stuff like I normally do on Twitter or social media or whatever. But forget about me and going to the movies and not having the proper gameplay, because at least there's gameplay to be shown. So anyway, let's get here, because as you can see, this panel is looking really different compared to the normal panel. And there's an explanation of that, because everybody is just like, they got other things to do. Now, really, for D, she had a loss. So if y'all could send her y'all condolences to her. She had a loss to one of her friends, and so she was kind of down this whole week. So I kind of figured, but I don't know what the hell Slayer had to do. Maybe Slayer had a hot date. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because because it's Friday. He just got paid. And it is close so he might have some gifts, or maybe he bought him a woman or something. I don't know, a woman of the night. Who knows what Slayer was doing? And for the rest of the crew, they've been off for damn near all of 2021 anyway. So what I did is ask a couple of people and somebody new to come on to the last show of the year, which is a pleasure to introduce to everybody. Spooky Sprocket. You know what I'm saying? This man here, he's been doing his thing. He's got his own channel. I can't wait for him to let you guys know about it. And hopefully one day that I'll get a chance to get on. But man, before that, I had to have him to come on. I wanted to ask him, but I'm glad he could accept. And so hopefully this won't be the last time. But anyway, man, what's going on with you, Spooky, man? How you been? Congratulations on you and Trinity, man. That was some great news, man. So tell everybody who doesn't know about you what you do, about your channel and everything else, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Kate Mega, and of course Ham Soul and Kelly Rex. It's an honour, privilege to join you fellas on here, of course. I've got my own channel. Run my own little pod called the Dark Wasteland Spotlight, and basically what that entails is my guest, whoever my guest is for the week, they're the superstar of the podcast. It's a place where they can basically tell people about themselves, where they grew up, where they're from, their memories of where they got started into gaming, memories, and talk about like the arcades from back in the day. So basically it's just somewhere that people can get to know each community member a lot better, and they can talk on things that they might not be able to talk on other podcasts. So I'd just like to put a spotlight on people and help people get to know each other a little bit more.
No doubt, man. And, that's a great thing. There's another person on the panel that kind of does the same thing that you do. I am always been a sucker for bringing in people on the podcast who are not really known, instead of always trying to bring a big name just for the view value. It's always good to get people because that's how I started, when people introduced me, when I was only at like 5 to 10, subs, and nobody didn't know who K Mega was, just some country boy just coming in here trying to talk about games and stuff like that. So I always want to give that same respect to the gamers out there. That's why, GRG has always had people that kind of started where nobody didn't really know them. Then now they're doing their own thing, have their own podcasts, link up with a whole bunch of people. And man, that's the blessing that people gave me, and that's the same type of blessing I want to give to other people out there. So man, I'm glad to have you on, man. It is definitely an honor. So let's keep it moving, and let's talk about somebody else who's been here. He ain't been here in a while, you know what I'm saying, because he's been out there. He was a PlayStation only guy. Now he is PC Master Race, man. I rarely see him talk about PlayStation now, man. I was thinking that he was going to be like my PlayStation informant, kind of like
you know what? I'm gonna stop you there. At least I still play my PlayStation, because all that content you're seeing me post on Twitter about Warframe, I did that on my PlayStation. So I am still a PlayStation gamer at heart.
Okay, at heart, but it's PC for life right now, though. I mean. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, my man, Kelly Rex, man, how you been, brother? What's been going on, man? What's been new with you? I know that you been talking about making your grand comeback on your channel, so let everyone know about you.
Yeah, about that. I know I've been kind of slow on the return. I am still posting content here and there, but it's just college is just like kicking my ass. So I'm just barely finished this semester. So now I'm free to make some more content at least. And
Yes.
so I'm going to use this time to at least finish off my documentary, and then I'm going to make my return to podcasting.
Nice. I know you always tinkering, you working, trying to get
Yeah,
things together.
I'm always just trying to improve my content and improve just like everything about my channel.
Yeah, I mean that's how you have to do it, man. You have to. It's not. Some people think you could just jump in, get in some spaces, and just talk about it, and then just just go from nowhere. There's very few people.
I mean, that's a start, but like you got to improve on that.
You got to do a lot more in order to get to where you really want to be. So it's one of those things, man. And so yeah, no, but yeah, that's all great. That's all love. And I totally agree with you on what you were saying. Like, I mean, I was looking and, I've talked about like another podcast that I'm going to be doing and definitely, hopefully you still will be part of it. But it's just so many things that's been happening. And though I was like, well, let me just put this on the back burner. And then once everything comes ahead, and then hopefully, especially next week for me, there's going to be a really big week for me. I will find out about a lot of things that I can do and what I can't. And so if I get the green light, then it's going to be balls to the wall. You'll see me a hell of a lot more. And I know I said that quite a bit for the last about 2 years because I've been kind of thinking that that's where it is, but there's always been kind of some kind of a position that's kind of stopped me. But there's no stopping once this part. If I get the green light on this, then yes, this is all I'll be doing. And if
there's anything I learned about YouTube is that like we make a lot of promises and it takes a while to deliver, but once we do, we make it the best.
Yes, we make it the best, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. I don't plan on making no shortcuts. I mean, I appreciate the people that come in every week and listen to me, or for any video, or for when I stream, all that. So I don't want to just shortchange them. So I want to make sure that what I bring to the table at least has some kind of quality. So for sure. But last but not least, man, this man has been here, man, for a couple of weeks, man. I think he took a week off last week, but then he's back. And I really do appreciate it, man, because I knew I was going to be short. Man, I said, hey, man, I threw the bad signal. And he was like, okay, I got this. So what's happening with you, Ham Solo? What you doing? How you been? You know what I'm saying? Man, I see that, man, them videos are just flying, brother. You know what I'm saying? I love the content that you bring. And everybody, you go and check the channel description, and then you can see everybody and get their information off of Twitter, and then do all that and go follow them, go support them. You know what I'm saying? These are small content creators, and so this is a celebration to them, and hope you guys will definitely follow them because they do great stuff. But Ham Solo, how you been, brother?
Oh man, I've been pretty good.
You botting.
Halo.
Your mic is botting. See, this is what happens when you play a lot of Xbox, and then next thing you know, you play PlayStation, and then you beat God of War.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good thing I wanted to talk about right now. Is I've been having some issues with any time I turn on Halo on my PC that just the mic just completely just craps out. Like
really, I've never had that issue.
I don't know what's going on, but I've had this issue for like a week now.
You know what?
And it's really ridiculous.
My boy Predator from the next podcast, he said he was playing Halo off of PC, and he was saying he was having audio issues, not like what you're having, but like when you listen to the to the enemies and stuff like that, like he never heard anything that they said. Like, he didn't hear any of their dialogue. So maybe that's some kind of bug that's going around from the PC side of Halo Infinite, which is unfortunate because that would suck. But
Yeah, I mean, luckily I have a Series X, so it's no big deal, and that's what I usually play everything on. Mm-hmm. But like, it's like, so I usually let my lady play on my PC, and I play on the Series X, and I give her the headphones and get her into the party with me and my folks, and she can just like, she has to speak up a little louder, but she's a very loud lady, so it works. So she can still talk to the party and hear everything that's going on in the party. So it works out.
Nice.
But anyways, yeah, Ham Solo 05 gaming on Twitter. If you guys want to check me out, Behind Them Sticks is a show that I do 2 episodes per week. last week I had Kid Smooth and also Saltiest Gaming. And next week I have Randall Thor 19. And also I believe it's going to probably be Styx or Peter, which I'll have to elaborate more when I just go on to the week. But follow me if you are curious to see who these people are, figure out what they're all about, see what they're looking forward to in gaming, and just kick the shit with your boy.
Now, let me ask you this before we get started. Did anybody else know about that damn device that I didn't know about, that we was talking about the Sega right after the Sega
Nomad?
Game? The Nomad. Who else knew about the Nomad?
Yeah. In the chat, please help a brother out, because it seems like I'm the only one that knows about the Sega Nomad.
I've never heard of that. That's because I'm young.
Yeah, you're a baby. You just now.
I'm only. I mean, I don't know if you want to call this old yet, but I'm 33 years old.
Oh my god!
And I played Nomad.
Okay, you're not that old.
Okay.
At least not compared to K Mega.
Shut your mouth. Okay, what? Okay, Spooky. How old are you, Spooky?
36. And now that I've seen a picture of it, I actually had a friend who had one of those back in the day.
Really? Okay, so I'm the elder statesman on here. Okay, all right. Damn, that's crazy. That is crazy.
It's not fake. It's real.
Yeah, October 19. I think it was October 95. I think was it released? 6 AA batteries. Lasted for about 2-3 hours, something like that. Had them on a speaker, headphone jack, and it was discontinued in 99. So I think it was around for 4 years.
Wow, that's amazing. I have never heard of it, never seen it. So,
it's amazing.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I am definitely.
It is the Switch. It is the Switch way before the Switch.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's almost
like
Sega
made it.
Switch 20.
The game. Kind of like the Game Gear that Sega made.
Well,
Sega did make the Game Gear, but they made the Nomad after the Game Gear, which was even better because then you could just buy Sega Genesis games and they would work in your Sega Genesis, and then they'd also work in your Nomad. And you could plug your Nomad into a TV if you want. And it also had an AC adapter you could play with, kind of like, it was the Switch before the Switch. And
actually, I did see a review.
People don't remember.
Now that I'm looking at, I did see someone review this once on YouTube.
I played the Game Gear before. I had a friend who had a Game Gear, but I've never heard or seen the Nomad. Like when you
I wish I would have kept mine.
Man. Oh yeah,
I thought it was
worth something.
I thought it was a cool little device because it was based on the Megajet. It was a portable version of the home console. It was actually designed for use on airline flights. It was the last handheld console obviously released by Sega, and it could, like was mentioned, could be used with the television set via video port. Their focus on the Sega Saturn kind of left the Nomad really under supported. So it was incompatible with like several Genesis peripherals, including the power base converter, the Sega CD, and the 32X. And only 1 million units were sold, or roughly. So it definitely was considered a commercial failure. But it was cool. It was cool.
But it sounded really cool. Yeah, like you said, it was the Switch before the Switch came out. Like Sega was so ahead of their time on what they did. The technology wasn't there for them.
I feel like the technology was there, but they were just too fast. They needed to slow down. Yeah. They're trying to be so innovative. And think of how many consoles they tried to push in the 90s. Just the 90s.
Well,
just 10 years.
I think at the time, these companies were just trying to be so competitive. They're just Sega just wanted to be on top of it all.
Right.
And they wanted to be the coolest, yeah.
Well, Sega, you know what? Listen, before...
They were the coolest.
They were the coolest. Sega was the coolest.
They were.
But PlayStation had a different type of swagger that nobody could deny. When PlayStation first dropped in, Nintendo was considered, even at that time, was like, okay, that's your dad's console. This right here is, the Sega is for the cool people. And so, because when you looked at Nintendo, they had Mortal Kombat with no blood, et cetera, et cetera. You know, they had the kiddie games. You know, Sega came out with some hitters on top of sports games, sports classics, and fighters, and all these other games that people were looking at was like, oh, okay. But then when PlayStation just dropped, it was something that nobody could deny. And that's what, you know, because when you had Sega and PlayStation competing, Sega was more worried about Nintendo, rightfully so, because Nintendo was the big dog on the block. But I think if they were looking at PlayStation more of a threat instead of them just being new kids on the block, then they probably would be more. They would probably still have a console probably today, but the same thing that happened to with the PlayStation 3 when they got hit over the head, and how Xbox One got hit over the head. They came out. It was greedy. Had that high price, that $100 price point, and the higher price point, and then you look and you see Sony undercutting everybody. That was a game changer, and it had discs, which was kind of cool because like there was no games that had discs at that time except for the Saturn, and So it was crazy.
The funny thing is, see, if Sega cottoned on to the concept of the Nomad before they brought out the Mega Drive 2, and rolled it out as a true successor to the Mega Drive, maybe perhaps Sega may have succeeded in its original goal to prolong the life of the Mega Drive 1. And then on a little side note, in 2017, a mod was developed to allow the Nomad to charge power using USB devices.
Well, that's crazy.
Incredible.
That
that thing was a power hog. Dude.
It was a beast, but the problem was developers hated developing for that console because it was too high tech for them at that time for the Saturn. So that was the biggest issue for the Saturn. Not only that the $100 extra, but the fact that it was just so difficult for developers to get to work on. So that's why when you looked at all those games that dropped on Sony, like it was easy to make to work on the PlayStation. And of course, Nintendo had a whole different thought process by still staying with cartridge. It was a crazy time. Like the 90s was a beautiful time in gaming, but it was a crazy, crazy, crazy time. But the Nomad is one of those things that I'll never forget, man. That was pretty wild. Sir X-Man in the chat. And as I'm going to steal this from my boy Xbox448, the super chat works, ladies and gentlemen. And if you could, please, you could share this out, let everybody know, because like I said, this is the last GRG of the year. So yeah, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to decide to hit that dislike button, go right ahead. It doesn't work anymore, but
you can't even see it anymore.
You can't even. Anyway, Sir X-Man, he says my Sega Saturn, the only place where you can play X-Men versus Street Fighter, the real and perfect arcade port. I have it and I still fire it up sometimes. That was the whole point, that what I think everybody is saying, like the Sega was so ahead of their time with their technology. They just didn't know how to market their stuff right. Like the Dreamcast will go down as one of the best failed consoles of all time, because anybody who's owned a Dreamcast, they loved it. I have not heard any person that's owned a Dreamcast say, I hated that console. I still to this day, if anybody in the chat that's owned one or whatever, if you were not a fan of the Dreamcast, please let me know. But I still to this day have not heard anybody say anything negative about the Dreamcast.
No.
Actually,
I just recently bought a Dreamcast.
Yeah.
It was that good. It was that good, bro. It was the one console I just could not part with. You know how with a lot of console, a lot of people, they'll trade them in for the next one that comes in. I just couldn't do it with the Dreamcast. Yeah. I boxed it up, got all my game.
Yeah, I had two. I had a modded one, and then I had a regular one. But then I was in a 10-year relationship, and her kids were playing on it, and so I left it. I left both of them there. So that was a stupid mistake. I should have took it, but regardless, K Mega loves the kids. Anyway, all right.
Exactly. I mean, and the other reason I think I wanted to hang on to it is because obviously we all knew at that point that was going to be the last actual hardware that they were going to bring out. So I wanted to keep it for that nostalgia. I'll still pull it out from time to time and play me games on it. It's still a bloody good device. Still a bloody good console.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. So I do want to ask this too as well. and maybe see if we could try to fit this in later on in the show. Did anybody see the documentary, the Xbox documentary?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll definitely try to talk about that here a little bit later. But let's get on to the very first topic right off the bat, and that is, and I'm going to go to you, Spooky, first. And this is a review of 2021. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what was the biggest news that came, because I want to kind of separate this into 3 spots, right? So the first one is going to be, what is the biggest news for you in 2021? And it doesn't matter if it's something that we talk about tonight, or if it's something that was at the beginning of the year in 2021. But what was the biggest thing for you, news-wise, gaming news-wise, in 2021 for you?
I guess like two things. I don't know sort of how high on the scale they were. Obviously, Stadia's first-party development ends. I mean, we could probably all see that coming, because they have a bit of a history of sort of giving up too soon on things that they kind of invest in. They didn't get off on the right foot, obviously. They missed several of its promised features at launch with the Stadia itself, and they haven't exactly been great at support, not compared to, say, Amazon with Luna. But the developers that they did have, they just never got a chance, because they just shut them all down, internal game development teams. So I started to think, well, if you're coming into the game market, well, that just sort of leaves you with, there's no possible exclusive Stadia games, limiting like their appeal and stuff. So that was one. And probably the other big one for me was MLB finally launching on another console other than PlayStation. I thought that was a big thing, because for so long, and I think the MLB kind of probably looked at it this way. They were sitting back watching the NFL, NHL, and NBA. They're like, well, they're on all systems. They're making money on everybody, off everybody. So I think that was a good decision. That was a big thing, because I'd never thought in a million years that a PlayStation-made game would ever be on an Xbox.
Yeah, no, that's really good. That's really good. Okay, all right. I'll definitely come back to you because we got 2 more out of these. But I'm going to go to Callie Rex next on this one. What was the biggest news for you in 2021, Callie?
Honestly, I'm kind of torn, because I'm a bit of a Star Wars nerd. I don't know if I told you this, but
no, I
honestly
know that about
torn.
you.
Yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I follow a lot of comics, a lot of books, the games. I follow everything Star Wars, anything possible. And the news of the KOTOR remake and this the new trailer that was released by Quantic Dream, I think got me the most hyped for Star Wars games that I have ever been before.
That Quantum Dream game, man, that looked absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I could definitely say like it was interesting. Like I didn't know what that game was about, but like they made that trailer just look like amazing, just visually, and just like it felt truly like Star Wars. And knowing that it's like gonna be like choice based game, probably I'm so hyped for that, because I love Quantum Dreams. I love Drip Become Human. It was a great game, and out of all the companies that have said that choices matter, theirs is the only one that delivered.
Yeah, that is that those are good. So good so far, so good. I like that. All right, Ham Solo, take us home on this. What was your big news for 2021?
Starfield.
Starfield. At first, I thought you said Garfield. I'm like,
Yeah,
Starfield. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so I say Starfield because like just throughout the year until it was even cleared up by Xbox, it was just like in the news all the time, and like nobody really knows what it is. Even to this day, people still don't really know exactly what it is. But for a person like myself that like I've never like got crazy dug in to all of the Bethesda games and whatnot. So like I'm looking for like my fresh in, like my fresh way into like playing a Bethesda game and seeing what they're all about, you know. And can you still hear me?
Yeah, we see you. Yeah.
Okay. No, something happened on my computer. I was just making sure. But anyways, yeah, I was just so like so now I'm like kind of invested in, like, now you're tag team partnered with like my boys from the last few generations Xbox. Like you're and I haven't really got into it yet, so I'm really excited to see what it's all about, and just so many people, you know, either being salty or being excited. Like it just has a lot of buzz, and I'm excited to see what they have to come with that. So that's my most exciting news from the year. I know that's not out to play or anything like that, or really any news about it, but yeah, that was my favorite news of the new year, probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Let me turn that off. I don't know why that thing keeps cutting on and off. I must be hitting a butt. But anyway. Yeah, no, I
hitting the button.
What'd you say?
He said, "Stop hitting the button."
Oh, what's in here? What are you doing in here, Yobi?
I came by to say hi.
You came in to say hi.
That was the noise I heard. That was the noise I heard.
That's what you, yeah, because I was like, what? I said, what? And then next thing you know, I heard something. I said, that don't sound like nobody in here. I was like, what the hell is that?
How did you not notice him? He joined like a minute ago.
Man, I'm over here pressing buttons. I'm looking around. I'm trying to make sure that this stuff is working good, so when people can listen to it, because I do have a issue sometimes where when things go bad, it just turns to exotic butters. And then it's all hell breaks loose. So that's exactly what happens. But anyway, what's up, Yobi? Thank you for saying what's up, man. Good deal. Because I was over here saying, look, Yobi, you're gonna have to be on the show, man. And then you was like, no, I'm not coming.
I tried to, bro, but since we're shorthanded, I couldn't make it work, bro. Okay. But the least I can do is just pop in and say what's up to everybody.
Oh yeah, no doubt. What you doing? You at work right now?
Yeah, I'm at work. I'm at work right now, so I just stepped out to the side, just came and check in with y'all.
Hey man, you can't be going in there, man, because what people don't know what Yobi does. He put pantyhose on those mannequins. So
damn, what?
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So
y'all slander? Jesus.
Well, hey, I don't know if it's slander or not. It could be true for all I know. I don't know. I mean,
look.
Hey, Cali Rest, go drink water, bro.
Oh man. Oh man. Anyway, okay. So Yobi, let me ask you this before you have to go. Then,
go ahead.
What was the biggest news for you in 2021?
Ashley, bro, I got a couple of minutes. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What was the biggest news for you in 2021?
The biggest news for me in 2021. Video game wise, right?
Yeah.
Biggest news for me for 2021. To me personally, I would say the can I say, does xCloud count? Did that come out in 2021? Or yeah. Okay, yeah. xCloud.
Yeah, I think it officially came out last year, but there's been other variants of xCloud to come out this year. So no, I mean, that's cool, because the streaming stuff definitely came out this year, where people can where they don't have to download the game, they can just stream it through their Xbox.
That is the biggest news for me gaming wise, because you think about it. Phil Spencer and the whole entire Microsoft, they kept to their word to say we are not leaving the generation behind. And when they dropped that bomb, and then now it's out fully, now people don't. So people, they can't get a Series X or Series S. Oh, okay. Well, hey, if you can, why don't you go to your local GameStop and go pick up an Xbox One X or just a regular base Xbox, and you can play the next gen games via the cloud. I think that's brilliant. And brilliant money-wise, and brilliant for the public, because now people don't have to rush to get to the next generation. It's like, oh wait, I could just play the next gen games on my old Xbox. Oh, then I'm set for the time being. So it broadens the gap, and it adds and it adds more life to last generation. So literally, last generation is literally coming with this generation now. So it's a beautiful thing, man, and it speaks volumes, and it just closes the gap, bro. It really closes the gap, and you're touching all bases. You're touching all bases. Go ahead.
To add on to what you were saying, it feels like
please.
It feels like the spirit of. I mean, this might sound silly to some people, but the spirit of Sega is still alive because it feels like Sega, but now what they wish they could have been. Xbox is just like hitting every device, and like it doesn't matter where you want to play and what you want to do, what kind of games you want to play. I mean, it's just. That's my personal take from playing so much Sega and being around in that time period to really get into it. Like, it feels like Sega reborn through Xbox.
I agree 100%. Not that you put it like that. I agree. I like that. Yeah, I agree 100%. So yeah, that's my biggest news 2021. Like they keep bridging the gap, and I'm scared for what they're gonna do next to bring the industry forward.
Right.
Yeah, no, that is true. For sure. And that I don't know, that was a great point, Yobi. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go to you on this one, Ham Solo. This is gonna be still the same topic, but it's gonna be one of the different questions I have in this topic, and that is, what was your top 3 games in 2021?
All right. So Scarlet Nexus.
Woo. There you go.
Far Cry 6.
Okay, there you go.
And Halo Infinite.
Nice. Okay, all right. You know what? That's wild because that is wild because
bang.
One is one for sure, surefire for me, and that's Scarlet Nexus. I'll definitely give my 3 here in a little bit. But yeah, no, that's what's up. All right, so Callie, what is your top 3 games of 2021 so far? Well, I mean, 2021 is almost over, but what you played and you enjoyed this year?
I enjoyed Ratchet & Clank. That was pretty cool.
Okay, I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Okay, man. All right.
Yeah, Ratchet & Clank was pretty cool.
Nice. All right.
I think recently, like, I know it's not 10. I know it doesn't count as a game that released here, but like that new Warframe update with the story, it just felt like a completely new game with what they added with that story. I'm just a sucker for it. It was amazing. So I love that. I think it was like personally the top like story I played this year, and I think Halo has to be there too because the multiplayer was really fun. Despite my criticisms with it, like I do have some problems with it, but like I think the multiplayer is pretty solid.
Okay, all right. And Sir X-Man in the chat, he says we can play Mortal Kombat 11 now. I'll be on the PC. Okay, bro. On Fight Night, we will do a Fight Night PC night if I have to do it for both weekends. I mean, for going out both Sunday nights, where it's just nothing but primarily just we play on PC because I got tons of fighters on PC and Mortal Kombat is one of them. I just got Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I just picked that up. That was on sale for $20. I picked that up. And then of course I had no choice but to pick up Dead or Alive 6. I don't know why, but I had to. So I picked those up. So yeah, plus the other fighters that I have on PC. So yeah, Sir X-Man, no doubt. We can make it just 2 weeks in a row where it's just nothing but PC games, because you can also play Killer Instinct on the PC. And I haven't ran Killer Instinct on the PC in a minute.
Sir X-Man ain't gonna show up anyway.
Yeah. He might not show up. He's over here talking, but you know what I'm saying? So, but I got, you know what I'm saying? He he supported the podcast by
he wants that smoke. He wants that smoke though.
But Cali Rex said, "Oh, since we're gonna play on PC, then he said, if you want that Injustice life, he said he's down to come on." So yeah, so anybody who's got that PC and you like to play fighters, Fight night, we'll do it. So get your PCs ready. I will have my games up and booted. I'll test to make sure that the stream will work properly with me doing it, because I have to do a kind of weird thing when I'm playing PC games on my Elgato. But other than that, we'll get it going. So, and I am looking forward to it. But Smokey, what is your top 3 games of 2021?
All right. My top 3 games for 2021. I'll start with the biggest out of the 3 of them. Obviously, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was waiting for somebody to say that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've always been that's probably one of my favorite sort of Marvel series. So it was just an instant get for me. Being a kid that was born and grew up, half of the 80s at least. The soundtrack just was memorable. The gameplay was fantastic. The story was really great. I thought this second outing they did a lot better job over what they did with Avengers. So that's one for me. Now the other 2 indie devs are going to love me for these 2. The Artful Escape was
I haven't got to play that one yet.
Yeah, it was such a great game. Being a music fan, I loved it. I loved, I'm pretty sure it's Carl Weathers that does the voice of one of the characters in there.
Okay.
Just a bright, colourful game, playing music through the cosmos, and just taking you on this journey. And my last one is another indie game called The Song of Iron, which was a real emotional roller coaster of a story. The story was brilliant. As we know, it was made by one man, Joe, who came from 343. Fantastic job for a one-man team. And I thoroughly enjoyed that game. It's still, in my head, still very memorable.
Nice. Okay. All right. And Sir X-Man in the chat, he said Mortal Kombat 11 is all Game Pass now on PC and cloud. See, I forgot that. That's right. Mortal Kombat 11 is on Game Pass, not only on Xbox but on PC now. But yeah, it was on sale for I think $14 for the Ultimate Edition. So I picked it up then. But I think that was like last month. But yeah, no, that's a good choice to see.
Was it through a Steam sale?
It was a Steam sale that was last month, but then there's been another sale that just came out here, just was last week with Grand Blue. So I would still go check, because I think that sale is still on. Maybe, I don't know. But I would definitely check to see if Mortal Kombat is there. If not, then you could always go through Game Pass on the PC as well, and you could join us and play some Mortal Kombat 11, because I know Sir X-Man be wanting to play that for forever, but he can't because it's not truly crossplay, which that sucks. All right, so for me, let's see. Scarlet Nexus is it's got to definitely be up there. I've been talking about Scarlet Nexus ever since I beat it, and I just could not get enough of it. Matter of fact, I think, and this is very rare for me, is going to do a second playthrough sometime next year, because I really thoroughly enjoyed that game a lot. But this is where the problem lies, because there's going to have to be 2 other games that's going to have to be dropped, and that is, man, because I'm going to give it to Psychonauts 2, because I'm not really big into platformers like that anymore. I'll play them from time to time, but to go back to the way I used to play them back when I was younger, no, I'm just not into platformers like that anymore. And even though this game had a lot of platforming things like that, I was so immersed into the story. I had to beat it. I had to go through it. I enjoyed the hell out of Psychonauts 2. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful game, and I do feel that it was robbed from getting a Game of the Year. But I'm not mad, because and Solo, I'm sorry, man. I was supposed to come back, but man, I was watching my news shows, and then by the time that I was done, it was like 3 hours later, because I had 3 shows that I had to watch back to back. So I was like, oh man. I said, dude's probably asleep, but if not, then it's just too late for me to hit him up. So we're still going to have to run that because I do want to play, because I've never played It Takes Two. I bought it day one. It was me and Don was supposed to play it, and he's like, well, man, I played it with my wife, and then we beat it. And I'm like, what? So it's just been sitting there in limbo ever since it came out. So yeah, I do need to play that game, experience it, because I'm not mad about it. I'm happy that.
Why don't you just play with your wife, man?
Well, my wife, she's sometimes she's not a gamer, but I can get her to play some games. But so I don't want to force her or push her into anything to where she don't, want to play anything. So, she has some moments where she's like, I don't want to turn this, I'm going to turn this Xbox Series X on and I'm going to go ahead, or S, and play something. And I just let that happen. And then there's times that she just want to just watch, her Discovery Plus and all that other stuff. So, it's just she is waiting for that flight stick for Flight Simulator. So I'm gonna have to do that. But other than that, because I think she'll go hard in the paint on that game. But other than that, it's just like I don't want to just force her into anything else. So, but then yeah, this is the problem right here. Again, like I said, there's some games that's gonna have to be left out, and I don't want to leave out Far Cry 6, but I got to because Halo is king for me, man. Halo is king. And another thing is that Cali Rex, I wish Slayer was here so y'all could find out this together, but Locke is still alive and he's still doing his thing, and it's a very wonderful feeling to know that. So, I don't know how you feel about that, Callie, that Locke's still alive.
We haven't been shown it. We haven't been shown he's still alive. We know he's out there. We know he's out. We know he's out there.
Okay.
Locke is still alive. Let's go.
Locke is still alive, and the reason why is okay. So when you get the first little thing in the game, well, once you find the tablet, and then you hear that he's on a secret mission, there is a secret skull that you pick up, and it tells you the rest of what's going on, because you do fight Hyperius in the game. And Hyperius has got Locke's, just like in the toy. He looks just like what we've seen in the toy. He has Locke's like shoulder thing, and he has Locke's helmet on his shoulder. And so, because once I killed him, I looked at him, and I went through and I said, oh my God, so he's dead, right? Like I was about to get really pissed off. And then I found that skull, and the skull actually told what happened. That Hyperius and Locke got into a big fight once that secret mission there where Locke went, and Locke got beat, but the fight was intense, and so he gave him respect enough to let him live because he wanted to shame him that he beat him, but he took his helmet as a prize to show that he could fight the elite Spartans and he could defeat them. But he spared him because the fight was invigorating, it said. So that's all I could. I knew he was going to get his ass whooped, but I didn't want him to die. So for people out, so he's not going to have his helmet. So that's why when I posted, I got my picture on Twitter with Locke with a hoodie on. Is that he's probably going to be hoodie Locke without a helmet, but he still got his gear. So which means is what I predicted is that they're going to change his appearance in some way, shape, or form. So but I was happy as hell once I heard that skull. So, it's right there. So you just gotta see it. So yes, it is there. You people can go to Google it if you want to. It is a skull that you find out there on the world, and it will give you it will let you know exactly what happened to Locke. But he's there. So, but Halo definitely gets the nod for me.
Well, I guess I lost that bet then.
You did. You lost the bet. You and Slayer lost the bet. And many others that was telling me that Locke was going to die in the very beginning of the game has lost y'all's bet. But I'm just happy that 343 didn't screw me over and mess up Team Osiris. But yeah, that's okay. So yeah, Yobi, you're back in here, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, what was your 3 games, the best of 2021? What was your favorite games of 2021?
Guardians of the Galaxy, baby.
Oh, I gotta play that game, man. Everybody keeps talking
about
that
game.
I have not played it yet.
You have to play that game, bro.
That game was not even on my radar, and then everybody just started talking.
It wasn't on my
whenever Square Enix showed it, it looked so mediocre.
Yeah, it looked so average. Like I'm like, oh man, what is
it? It looks mediocre, but through the game, you can unlock various costumes, and It looks mediocre, but once you play it, it looks good, bro. It looks real good.
Man.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy, Halo Infinite. I mean, Halo. And do remakes and remasters count or no?
Yes.
Okay. Halo Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's say Guardians of the Galaxy, Halo Infinite, and Mass Effect on Legendary Edition.
That was another one.
That. Yeah, that's a pretty solid choice. That's a pretty solid choice.
That is a wonderful choice.
Yeah.
Because I know life that. So all the games that I was mentioning, like I even know life did Far Cry 6. Like, I mean, big shout out to Sleepy Goblin, man, for hooking me up with that game. Because I was like, man, this looks so interesting. But man, once I got in it, I was like, oh my God, this is fun. It was just I love the protagonist. I love the villain. I just like the whole thing about it, man. Like the game was just so dope. And then also, honorable mention would have to be Tales of Arise. I do like it, but I do not like it more than I like Scarlet Nexus. It takes too long to get into the story of Tales of Arise. But where I'm at, Tales of Arise is probably about close to 30 hours. And so it's getting good. It's got to the point where it's getting good and the story is starting to set. But man, it took me at least 10 to 15 hours before the story even got cooking. And I'm like, oh man, I don't even know if I want to keep playing this. And then Far Cry 6 dropped, Forza dropped, which that's another honorable mention. I mean, there was just the Ascent.
Forza's an honorable mention too. I forgot about that.
There is so many great games that came out this year. I don't know, man. This was one of the best years for me, gaming wise. I don't know how you guys felt about that, but I think this was a really good year for games.
This is a great gaming year for Xbox because they dropped a lot of games this year.
Oh yeah, I mean for everybody. Well, PlayStation didn't have the best year, but they still had some good games though. They still dropped some good games.
I think it ended up being a better year than people expected, to be quite honest.
What, for PlayStation or for Xbox?
Oh, just for the gaming as a whole. I think 2021 proved.
Oh yeah, no doubt. 2021 was a fantastic year. I mean, when you put every game that was available from what Nintendo dropped, from what games that was only on PC, even like I've heard really good things of New World, and then like a game that I never played, but everybody's going crazy, and I think that Square Enix has shut down the servers because that Final Fantasy Online game is just going bananas. People are just in love with it. So
they had to shut down the servers because so many people were buying it.
Yeah, I'm like that is nuts. I got to now. I'm intrigued. I want to definitely. I want to try to go ahead and download it and play it. Sir X-Man in the chat, thank you again, brother. He said, letting people know Amazon has Xbox Series S's in stock. Yes, when I was at Best Buy today, they did have PlayStations for sale. If anybody in the Oklahoma area, they did have PlayStation 5s available because I was looking at one. And then the guy said that you have to order them, but you can't just buy them in the store because they didn't have them in the store. So you want to check that out, of course. And then they had
smart.
And they had Xbox Series X's as well. So they had some stock out here in Oklahoma. So if anybody wanted to check out any Best Buys, that they did have some at Target. I did see that, but Target's already sold out. So, but yeah, it seems like all three are available right now. 108 Dragons, he says, what's good? He says, I see y'all being spooky on I love it. Love this community rocks. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 108. So, all right. So we got that down. So let's get to the last point on this topic. And let me go back to you, Spooky. What was the worst game for you in 2020? And,
Well, I'll give you what was, at first I'll just say, it's the first year I've seen nobody barely talk about Call of Duty game, so that was a bit of a flop on their behalf, I suppose, but they sort of came in between where there's a lot of games sort of coming out as well, and then Battlefield dropped. But no, the one game for me, and again, I'm like yourself, I'm not the biggest platformer these days, I'll get select platformers, was Balan Wonderworld, because it came from...
you about that?
Yeah, creator Yuji Naka. it seemingly had a lot of potential leading in. I thought it was going to be a hell of a lot better game.
A lot of people thought it was going to be like a Sonic game.
Yeah. I expected.
I wanted it to be a Sonic game too.
Yeah. I expected that great, and it was a game set across 12 chapters. It took influences from past NACA games, worked on such as Nights into Dreams. Featured its mysterious being known as Balan, obviously, but the end result just didn't work. It didn't live up to NACA's previous work. The reception as soon as it came out was generally pretty negative from both critics and fans. There was criticisms placed on the platforming mechanics, which just felt uncomfortable, to most people. Best largely due to the instance, for example, like one button control scheme. I don't think that played out. It featured like a ton of ability changing costumes in that, but they were just forgettable. Tossed to the side. It was sort of like all. It seemed like quickly rushed, all introduced and put together in the thing. But the story kind of went a bit all over the place too, and it never fully explored everything in game. So it left important details sort of locked inside this separate novelisation, I guess you could say. Because of who was behind it, that was mine for 2021. I thought it was going to be a lot better than what it turned out, and unfortunately, it just didn't live up to his previous work.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I knew that Bloody Knuckles was really excited about that game when that game first announced, and then next thing you know, I didn't hear him say anything about it. So I was like, well, that's not a game that I'm interested to get it in, because he was stoked, like crazy stoked, and then didn't hear anything else.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people were leading into it because I think, as Kelly Rex said, I think they were expecting, something on the level of Sonic. They know NACA's track record, and I was just thoroughly disappointed in this work of his. But it happens. It happens to developers. There was, I wouldn't say everybody, but Kojima, for example, copped some flack over Death Stranding. Some people liked it, some people hated it. So
people who loved it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, all right. What about you, Ham Solo? What was the worst game for you in 2021?
Instead of some of the obvious games, like for me personally, would be like Madden and Call of Duty, because like you said previously, Call of Duty is it's pretty rough coming out. But I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning of the year. I was super duper hyped for this game. Even after the first couple of matches, I was still hyped, and I was talking about how awesome it was, but it just kind of fell flat. And I'd have to say Destruction All-Stars was probably the biggest flop for me this entire year.
Yeah, you don't hear too many PlayStation fans talk about that game anymore at all.
You know what? You might as well skip me, K-Mega, because he stole mine. I was that one.
Oh, man.
Well,
that's how disappointing it was.
I was so hyped for it. I actually loved the trailers, and when it came out, it was a little bit fun, but it got so boring.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was just nothing to it after you just played a couple of matches. They had so much potential, and it kind of just went nowhere with it.
Man.
And unfortunately, it was less of the next Rocket League as many had hoped it would become. Well, obviously the first bit of controversy the game ran into was its price point. Because it was set at $70. Obviously,
not just that, but also they also locked some story content behind the currency in the game.
Oh, yes. Did they really do that? Oh, yeah. Really? Oh, man, come on.
It was bad.
That's awful. Yeah, because man.
I was just going to say, while the game, I suppose when you look at it, it works as intended. Most people just ultimately thought the experience.
It's just super average, though.
Yeah, average at best, lack of content with only 4 game modes, limited narrative, base campaign, come with, separate cost from the base game.
If they had more game modes, then it would be more fun. But the problem is they haven't done anything with it.
No. Like, I mean, I know they received new content, in a couple months since it's released, but obviously first impressions matter as with the player, and the population just kind of dried up.
That's nuts. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to play it, and so I wasn't going to really talk about the game itself, except for like I made a point on Twitter because they were jumping on the Gunk, and I'm just kind of like, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Like I don't even understand why ratings even matter to a real gamer. But regardless, that's a whole nother topic. That's unfortunate though, because that's going to be the team. David Jaffe is not going to be working on Twisted Metal. It's going to be the people who's worked on this game. So listen,
I still have a little bit of faith. I still have a little bit of faith in this, because if you know their history, like I've studied them, then you'll know that they actually make some pretty solid games back in the day when they were under Activision.
Okay, so all right, so well, that's not a good look for the first start, but everybody gets a second chance. So you know what I'm saying. So that I don't know, but Twisted Metal is sacred, man, because I love Twisted Metal with everything. That's one of my favorite IP PlayStation 5 Ps. But
they gotta let that game be
Twisted Metal Black was
rated M.
Goat. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid.
Isn't it rumored that isn't it going to be free to play?
Twisted Metal Black was the GOAT, bro.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that it's going to be a free to play for Twisted Metal.
Yeah, because I've been hearing rumors that they're trying to release it.
I already know where they're going. Free to play. You buy the game. Okay, the first 3 characters are free. The rest you got to buy or release. I think what they're gonna do, they're probably gonna do the same release schedule as they did with the first Killer Instinct.
No. Okay, so the rumors is that like they're gonna release it like near like when the movie releases or whatever they're working on behind the scenes. There's like a show or a movie, I believe.
Yeah. I can't really. Yeah, I don't know if it's a movie or a show too, but yeah, I did hear about that too. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, that was it? That was all you were gonna say? I thought you were gonna say there was more.
Oh no.
Okay, never mind. All right. Well, I mean, that would be kind of cool because listen, if the show is anything, if the show is going to be anything like what we've known for Twisted Metal, where Twisted Metal is usually really dark, and if the show is not dark like Twisted Metal, and they try to make it cheesy, like make it a little tiny dark, but not too dark because they want to try to make it for everybody, that game is going to fail because Twisted Metal is meant to be dark. The whole story, the whole concept of what it is supposed to be dark. So it's pretty crazy. But all right, Sir X-Man in the chat, he says my favorite game of 2021, but I thought that game came out in 2020. But regardless, that's fine. He says mine is King of Amalur Remastered. Yeah, I know you are a big fan of King of Amalur.
Nobody don't care, Sir X-Man.
Yeah. No, that is a good game. I got the remastered version, but I have not gave it a full run yet. So Yobi, what was the worst game for you in 2021?
To be honest, Kay, I don't think I have it actually. No, I have one. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
How are you disappointed in that game?
Man,
I'm disappointed in it because listen, they was hyping it up, which okay, cool. You know, Smash Brother competitor, like cool. The online was fucked up day one. I was like, come on, bro. Me and my coworkers, all 6 of us, we bought the game the day before so we can all get in we connected 1 out of 6 matches. So we only connected 1 online match, and the rest it didn't work. And then we tried for like an hour straight, and then we tried a couple of days later, and then after that we just left it alone. That pissed me off. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna uninstall this until y'all fix that online. I ain't coming back.
And
So
last time I heard this still isn't right.
I'm gonna give the devs some like room, like some leeway, because like they're unknown devs. They're unknown devs.
It's not the devs' fault. It's not devs' fault. It's management fault. It's management. You know, I manage. We need these end of the year sales. We got to meet these quotas. That's one thing I hate about this industry. I understand it's the money at the end of the day, but you got to let these devs make their game. If they need time, give them time to make their game. Because nowadays, guys, we're at the point where, we're in the generation, release now, buy now, fix later. Like, and we become the beta testers. That's BS.
Yeah, no, I mean that's BS. Game Down Sites and then was telling me, because y'all guys was telling me to get it, and I was like, all right. And then I was looking at it, and I'm like,
and then I told you to stay away from it.
Well, but then I looked at it and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm not seeing a lot of people talk really well about the game. They're saying that they're excited about the game, but they haven't heard anybody like or go to like to where I normally go to see fighting stuff, and they weren't talking about it. So I was like,
yeah.
And then Game Down Sites was like, man, there's something wrong with the netcode, but you can still get it. It's on sale. And then you told me stay away from it, and I was like, yeah, I'll just wait. Matter of fact, this WB fighter that's going to be coming out looks way more promising.
I'm so hyped for that. All the Cartoon Network characters.
Yeah, that looks
my nostalgia phone is just up to the roof with this.
I think I might have to put hands on people with Shaggy, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, but for me, and people in the chat, please let me know what was your worst game for you. Destruction All Stars. I'm seeing Destruction All Stars. Oh my goodness, and I'm also seeing. The Ascent is one of my favorite games for this year as well. I love The Ascent. I thought The Ascent.
I was disappointed by it, to be honest.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
What was the problem with it?
For me, just the combat, it just didn't feel too good for me on PC. And not only that, but the enemies just felt so bullet spongy. It didn't feel fun at all to play against them for me.
Oh man, I dug everything about that game, man.
The loot, to be honest, I think if it had better loot, I think it would be better for me, but it just didn't. So I kind of just wound up disappointed in it.
Yeah, I was disappointed for a whole different reason, man. I was losing items when I'd get kicked in that game. So one of my favorite items I lost because I was playing multiplayer with friends, and that's my go-to. Is multiplayer first, single player second. If I can play multiplayer with friends and go co-op, I'm gonna do that before I'm gonna go single player. So this Halo was kind of a slow burn too, but at least they were out front and saying like, hey, this isn't ready. Because if the Ascent would have said, hey, this isn't ready, go ahead and play it single player for now, I wouldn't have had anything to complain about other than, oh man, I wish I could play co-op, but I can't right now because it's broke.
Right.
You know, I wish they would have just rolled it out single player and said, you know, like, we got to work on this for a little bit, because I was losing gear left and right. I lost my favorite augmentation, and I have yet to be able to rebuy it back. So like, I'm about like, I'd say I'm about 80% done with that game. And this was way back when it came out, and I just gave it up because I was so angry. I was like, I'm not going to beat this game until they fix this, because I lost my favorite piece of hardware to go out into battle with. And like, I can't buy it back. So like, that just ruined the experience.
Sucks. Oh yeah, that would definitely ruin the experience. I hate that for you, man. No, when I first heard about the issues online, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play it solo, and then I'll come in and I'll play it with people once it's better. I did, but there was people that jumped onto it in the beginning, and yeah, I heard that they were losing content and stuff like that, because when me and Don jumped in, that's exactly what. Well, no, it wasn't Don. It was a listener, and he was like, "Hey, man, I know you've been talking about this game, man. You know, you want to run something?" It's like, yeah, let's go ahead and play. But then what I was told, and I told him, I said, what I was told, what you had to do was that you had to save your single player game, and then you had to restart a whole new game co-op, and then you'll be able to save them both. I said that's what I heard. Now, I don't know if that works or not, but I'm going to save mine. So I recommend that you save yours. He said, no, man, I'm not even going to worry about it. I said, okay. So we jumped into the game. I loaded in a new character, just kind of threw an extra, I didn't do the full cosmetics because it was cosmetic. The customization wasn't all that deep anyway, but we get into it, start playing. We played for about 2 hours. Then we go up there and he was like, oh, well, I'm going to get back because what he thought was that I could jump in and help him beat this enemy, which was the spiders that you had to fight at this one level or whatever. But it started you all the way from the beginning. And then when
spiders.
Yeah, those spiders was crazy. That was my favorite go-to weapon once I killed those spiders, because those spiders came in handy.
Spider bots.
Yeah, those spider bots was amazing, boy. They took care of a lot of business. But when he went back to his game, it was gone. It started him right where we left off. And that was like after beating the first boss, going to, like I said, it was like 2 hours into the game co-op. And yeah, man, he was like, and I said, man, I'm sorry. And so I was scared that I lost my stuff because I was almost to where he was, and it was fine. So that was the trick. And I felt bad for him, but he never hit me up again and wanted to play. So I know he was pissed. So yeah, I could definitely get that. For me, and I don't hate, it really hasn't been a awful year because I haven't played All Stars. There will be some games that would be kind of questionable, but I still enjoyed game. Like I know that people jump on that Dungeons and Dragons game. I beat that game. I got everybody maxed out at 20. I enjoyed the hell out of that Dungeons and Dragons game myself personally. What was it called? Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I thought it was fire.
I thought it was fun as hell. But the game that I have to say is Battlefield 2042.
I heard that game is pretty broken.
I paid $110 for it. Ready to go. It was damn near unplayable. It was damn near unplayable the first like 3 or 4 days. What you laughing at, man?
You paid $120.
I paid $110. Like, I mean, because at least I got that EA discount. But
he called that a discount.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all right, Kate. It's all right, Kate. I was almost there myself until Pong turned around to me and goes, "Don't buy it just yet. Wait 6 months until they patch the crap out."
I was like, whoa, but I bought it, and so I played it, and I wasn't having a bad time, but then like the bullet sponge stuff, the way the things were, and then like people spamming the hell out of dropping weapons, and I was like, what is going on here? And then it just got to a point to where I'm shooting people like a million times, and then it felt like I just get one bullet, like, from a pistol, and I'm dead. And I'm like, what is happening? And so I put it down, kept playing Forza and Halo, and then I'm just kind of like, man, my experience with Battlefield is just not there. Like, I love Battlefield. Battlefield is top tier to me, and I didn't mind the changes and stuff that like people didn't like. I thought some of the changes were cool, but the game was just broken. But then they changed it, and right when they were releasing the regular version. And it played a hell of a lot better. And I played it like about a week and a half ago, and it felt better there. But yeah, it still has some things that it needs to do for sure. But yeah, that has to be my most disappointing game because, like I said, I didn't play Destruction All Stars, and I didn't play another game where a lot of people talk bad about was the Diablo Resurrection, the Diablo 2 Resurrection. A lot of people dog that game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, okay. You know what? First topic, but that's normally how we do it here. We keep going. But let's go ahead. Let's talk about Halo. Let's go ahead and talk about that on the second topic, and that's did Halo deliver? So did everybody beat the game yet, or have everybody played it? Has everybody on the panel played Halo?
I already gave you my answer.
Yeah,
I haven't beaten it yet. I'm probably about halfway through it so far, but yeah.
All right, Ham Solo, what about you? Did you get a chance to?
Yes, I beat the game.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, so let me go to you first. Did Halo deliver? Did Halo Infinite deliver for you?
In my interpretation of it, I thought it was dope.
Okay.
Like I was like, there's a reason that I gave it, top 3 in my games, and it wasn't just for the multiplayer. The multiplayer was a big piece of it, especially with being able to play with friends, especially, and not being able to play with friends on the campaign right now. So I was a little nervous hopping into the campaign, as I was kind of saying earlier, because I usually am a multiplayer or campaign co-op first kind of guy. But hopping in it alone and just the ambiance and like the way that the antagonist is just constantly just like egging you on, like, bring it on, bro, bring it on. Like, we're looking for you. Where you at? Bring it on. Come on over here. We waiting. Like it felt like really like you just want to go kill him, but you got to figure out what's going on around you right now first. And it felt like Chief had the same mentality that you had within the game. So being able to become one with Master Chief again and not bouncing around from character to character, kind of like you did in Halo 5.
Watch your mouth while you're looking at this beautiful Halo 5 footage. Okay, go ahead.
But like, I mean, it just felt a lot more intimate. The weapon was just so good. She was such a good like piece to add to that story. So I was really happy with that, and the stuff that you find out about her background is really interesting as well. The pilot, people said he was like annoying.
I thought you said she was a nice piece of ass.
Whoa!
What conversation you listening
to? He needs a few more bars.
All right.
But anyways, the pilot, that dude had a pretty interesting tie throughout the story all the way up to the end. I like the way that he was kind of implemented in there just to give you kind of a regular human feeling kind of person instead of, AI and very cold-ish, very cold-ish Spartan. So it was nice to have some extra human feeling where, Chief wasn't exactly feeling the same way, where, as a human, you're like, get me the hell up out of here. Like, this is crazy. like I for sure connected with that feeling. So Halo Infinite delivered for me. And then also just the pieces throughout the game, like connecting them and figuring out, like, I don't know, it really feels like they are far from finished with this story. Especially if you beat the game, then you see why it feels like it's far from finished.
No doubt about it. Okay. All right. So, Callie, you said don't even come to you because you haven't got a chance to play it yet. So I will not, but I will go to Spooky and get for what he's played so far. What do you think? Do you think it's delivered so far to your expectations?
Yeah, so far, with where I'm at in the story, I think it definitely has. Like, the multiplayer is fantastic. I've already had a bunch of fun with people with that, of course. Loving the grapple hook. I think that was a nice addition for Chief. I had, with the story-wise, I was, Halo 3. It was my favourite. I still think to this day it's still top story out of the Halo series for me personally. It was just so well written. But this is right up there in my opinion. Obviously, too, they said, 10-year plan. So obviously there's definitely going to be more story added because they're obviously taking that Destiny type formula, I guess you could say. But yeah, I definitely think it's right up there for me with Halo 3, and I'm loving it. I can't wait to be able to comment more once I've finished the actual solo campaign.
Nice. Okay. All right. What about you, Yobi? How far have you gotten into Halo Infinite? If any? Oh, he probably had to step away. had to put extra stockings on those mannequins.
Say, shut your ass up! Hey, you don't goddamn stop. I'm a top dishwasher in my company. Thank you very much,
man, look, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, man. I mean, do you put the heels on after you put the knee highs and stockings on those mannequins? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, do they got different size mannequins now? Or is it, okay, let me stop.
Depends on. I mean, it depends on what she wants.
I heard that. Okay. Anyway, have you got a chance to play Halo yet?
Yeah, I got a chance to play Halo, but I'm not. Yes.
Okay, so what do you think? What do you think about it so far from what you played?
So far, so good. I think the pilot is I can do without the pilot. He's annoying. He finds Chief. Yes, we're gonna go home. We're gonna go home. What? You want to go back there? There? We don't have no guns. You only have one gun. How many more weapons do you need? What do you want? Like, bro, get out of here, bro. I'm trying to save the human race. Oh, we lost. No, you gave up, motherfucker. Chief's still breathing. So, first of all, hey, between me and you, me and the whole film, let's be honest. Chief got his ass whooped.
Chief got slid. I told y'all.
You really think Chief gonna go out like that?
I told y'all though. I told everybody. I said when Chief see Atriox, people
like,
no,
he gave him a 4-piece.
He gave him a 4-piece with a biscuit. But then Atriox took that like a champ. He said, "Yo, did you just put your filthy demon hands on me?" And then he didn't even try to. You can tell like. Atriox didn't even try. He just beat him. He just whooped his ass.
I'm gonna use a little wrestling metaphor. When I watched that opening sequence, it took me back to when Undertaker was in his prime. I thought that was like Taker just destroyed. Like he just manhandled Chief.
Yeah. He was like, yo, it was hilarious. It wasn't hilarious, but it was. But I told people, I said, because, I get it. There's not a lot of people that played Halo Wars 2. But I told him, I said, he fought 4 Spartans by himself. He told all the Spartans were surrounded, right? I mean, like the Spartans were surrounded.
Wasn't that Atriox on the front cover of Halo Wars 2?
Yeah, him. It was him.
Okay, so that was him. Okay.
Yeah, that was him. And then he sit there and he made everybody, and he started, man, he grabbed that, he says, you're just he grabbed that one he grabbed that one Spartan and he squeezed him. He broke his arm. He was screaming. He was like, he says, as I thought, just a man. He just started then he beat that ass. Yeah, that's
what reminds me of
like that.
Right. Oh yeah. Like
yeah.
And then he said, and then because that was like towards the beginning of the game. Like he was like, run. That's right. Run, little demons. And then that's when you got introduced about how serious this dude was, because when they were carrying off one of the Spartans that I think that was damn near dead, or if not dead, or broken up, they loaded up and then they looked and they seen all these damn enemies. That's when they first got introduced to the Banish, and they was all standing there on the horizon, just looking down on them, just chanting. So, bro, I knew then Atriox was gonna put them hands on Chief. I try to tell people that no, Chief is. I said, man, Atriox is something different, bro. He built different. He ain't just some dumb regular brute.
I was going to say, he's like built like the Hulk. He's like the Hulk of that universe.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The size of him.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Sir X-Man in the chat, he says, my biggest disappointment is not having time to play. Trust me, bro. I used to know that feeling, and it sucked. I'm actually feel blessed to have the time to be playing some games like I've never had before in my entire life, man. And I can't say that I'm totally disappointed about it. I do. But man, I feel for you, because I definitely know them long hours, man. You just trying to do stuff, man. You trying to, holidays, all that other stuff, man. It is tough.
But yeah, okay. So far so good. I haven't beaten it yet. I'm really taking my time through it. The grapple hook, I felt like that belonged in Halo since Halo 1. It adds so much depth to the game. And the crazy thing about the grapple hook, anything you see in the game, you can if you see a higher mountain, you can go all the way up there. Because in certain games, you see a higher place and you'll get blocked out by an invisible wall. You can actually go all the way up there. Yeah, that shit is insane. But so far, so great. So far, so great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not for the say Halo is back, Master Chief's back, because Halo never went nowhere.
Thank you.
That's it. The other thing I love about the grapple hook is grappling onto someone and doing a big Superman punch. I think that's so cool. Just go, boom.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been doing that to everybody. I'll like grapple hook, shoot, grapple, like the entire time to everybody. And it's just so addictive.
It is. It's very addictive. I definitely enjoy it. For me, Yobi said it. Halo never left. I mean, if people who know me listen to the podcast, I've always been talking about Halo 4 and 5, especially more about 5, because I think that a lot of people, the truth of it is a lot of people didn't beat Halo 5. I mean, you go back because there's people that was asking me, well, or when you read, well, I just don't understand the story. If you played Halo 5 and you beat Halo 5, you understand the story because it's continuance right after. When people were hoping for some kind of reboot and that it was going to start from like when people was playing Halo 3 and 1 and 2. Nope. It is a continuance of Halo 4 and 5. And the setup, which I'm not going to go deep into.
We did the Promethean or whatever those robot aliens are. What happened to those? Wasn't Cortana controlling them by the end of 5?
The Forerunners, yeah, the Forerunners. And there's a lot of tie-ins with the Forerunners, and then there's a new species that's there, but and when you see the commercial or whether the ad, and you'll see this chick says, "You are not the future," and she hits it, and everybody was saying, "Oh, that's the same scene like you seen in God of War where he gets knocked into a tree." That's the new being, we think. There's a lot more deep stuff going on that's setting up for a fantastic blow your mind moment. On top of the fact of just all the stuff that you could do within the game. And I'm going to tell you this, I never want Halo to ever go away from the boss battles ever again. That recipe of having boss battles is perfect. I know, Ham Solo, you have to agree, man. That is the most I loved, and the intensity of those battles was so damn fun. Even me playing on heroic, I was getting my ass filleted, but I just enjoyed the hell out of fighting those bosses and just the mini bosses when you went in the open world. I don't know. What do you think about it, Ham Solo?
I thought the boss battles were great because gave me the opportunity to like kind of like see what this one person is all about and not be completely like way too many side enemies around. I felt like they did a good job of allowing the kind of side bosses to have all those extra enemies. That's fine. That's cool. But the intimate battle between you and said boss, it was just you two going after it. Like, bro, that kept going invisible everywhere. Like one of the beginning bosses.
Oh, he was oh my God, he was a problem. He killed me probably the most next to the very end of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, like just like the intimate feelings that you had in those moments of where you're just like, oh my god, and you're just running, grapple, run, grapple, run, grapple. Like I was constant, like it felt like I was playing Doom.
Yeah, and what's cool was that like with the enhancement, like because I had to take the grapple off and use the sensor against that boss.
Right, yep.
Because he's invisible.
There's a couple of bosses, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a really cool thing, too, about, like, with Halo Infinite is that, like, you can just go somewhere and you say, oh, look at this gun, just this random weapon just laying here in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden, you hear a laugh, and you're like, what the hell is that? And you're looking around, but you don't see nothing. And then you go in and get the weapon, and then it says, you pathetic human, you will face my then you get cut up and you get killed because there's an elite just sitting there waiting like a spider on a web, waiting for you to grab something so he can kill you. I love that about the game is that that formula, what they have.
Up the shit talking in this game.
Oh man,
big time.
Big time.
Bro, it made me want to jump in the screen. I'm like, bro, I want to see you one-on-one. Let's go.
Yeah.
That voiceover that you're talking about too, K-Mega, it kind of reminds me of Shang Tsung when you can't really see him, but you hear his voice.
Yeah. No, it was just crazy because he's just, and then you're like, where's he at? And then he's like, that human face my wrath, and then you're like, and so once you know what's going on, but there's times that you just don't know, and I love that they make us. Now, the one thing that you will definitely feel for the people who hasn't really got deep into the game yet is that those environments from like the old Halos is definitely there. And the one thing that I love was the elites in the older Halos. They were tough, they were strong, and they brought that back. That was because I kind of felt like the elites weren't as strong or as like, you know, as difficult to kill as like they used to. But they brought that back because the elites are just as damn powerful as the brutes and everything else. So man, I definitely I enjoyed the hell out of the game a lot. I went crazy with it. I still have a few more things to only thing left that I have to do is get the skulls. I got like 6 more skulls. 7 more skulls to go. I'm sorry. 5 more skulls, and then I have them all.
Now that you were speaking about Mortal Kombat, like you got me feeling like Esrim was like, what was that dude's? I don't think it was. What was it? Shao Kahn?
Shao Kahn? Yes.
The one with the helmet? The dude with the helmet?
Yeah, that's Shao Kahn. Yeah.
That dude was an asshole.
Bro.
He had that big ass hammer. He wasn't shit without that hammer.
Bro, well, let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Like, he was a problem. He was a problem. But okay, my last point on this, and then we'll move on. I do love. This is why I love 343 taking over the helm. Ever since they did it with Halo 4, is that they humanize Chief and they give these elements of him
PTSD.
not being no, just him. He's just not a walking, like Bungie made him a walking tank. He would say one-liners, he would kick ass and say and keep it moving. But
he's very robot-like. He was very robot-like.
Yeah, but here he still has that robot-like, but then there's points in the game that's just like, oh man. And there was just one point, and then you keep playing, you'll find out that the pilot, you'll find more out about the pilot, and you won't dislike him because I totally agree. I'm like, this dude is it, man. Stop being a bitch. Okay. Stop being a bitch. Come on, man. Let's stop all this, man. It's too late. It's too late to run, bro. We just got to do what we got to do. Because at first I understood what he was talking about. After I seen Chief get slid, then I'm like, yeah, everybody needs to be packed up. And I wouldn't even woke Chief's ass up. I would have been, the credits would have been gone. I'm heading back to somewhere to get the hell away from all that. But yeah, you find it, and there's a humbling point of Chief where he just comes out and just says, like, and I'm like, oh,
he said, I wouldn't even woke Chief ass up.
No, I wouldn't have shit. I've been out, bro. I've been out. But yeah, no, there's a lot of points in there. And then of course, I do love the weapon. She is so good. She's so good. And then there's so much tie-in into the game. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, guys, you got to check it out. If you haven't, the storytelling I think is pretty damn excellent. But it does set up, and then they're already working on a new story to come out next year. So I don't know if they'll have any side stuff going, but they're going to have stuff coming out next year. The developers they're working on it now, so it's going to be great. You got
to think about it. You got to look at it like this, bro. So they said the Halo Infinite is on a 10-year journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine at the end of it all, at the last, whatever expansions they do, because it's going to be many. Imagine, can you imagine what the fight going to be at the last expansion for Halo Infinite? Because as what we've seen, Chief been getting his ass whooped through this entire game. So I just imagine what's to come next after this.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get crazy, man. It's gonna get real crazy.
I'm excited. I can't.
It's gonna get real crazy, especially when you find out about the endless, and and that's and boy, yeah. If you want to know more about what I'm talking about with the endless, Xbot and Predator, we had a spoiler cast the other day. And we was talking about everything, and then we gave our predictions on what the endless was and how things were and the things within the game. If y'all are interested in doing that, but all right, let's keep it moving. Which one do I want to go to? Let's go to Square Enix pushes for PC games to be $70. Will that work for the PC community? I mean, Final Fantasy VII remake and the DLCs are going to be coming to Steam. I think it's already here. I think it's already available now. And I think they're going forward with the $70 price tag. So, Callie, do you think that this is going to be something that they can get away with in the PC community?
No, hell no. Also, I just checked and it's not on Steam yet.
Oh, I mean, not on Steam. It's on the Epic Store. It's exclusively on the Epic Store right now. So yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Okay, hold on, let me check. But I don't think Square Enix is gonna get away with this. I think they're gonna get a lot of backlash, and especially right now, I don't think people are gonna buy it at all. Especially because it has the Nouveau in it, and if you don't know what the Nouveau is, let me explain it. It's practically an anti-cheat, an anti-cheat software, and It really makes games perform really badly on PC. I can't explain how. I'm not that much of a technical wizard, but all I know is if you buy a game that has the Nouveau, the performance will be terrible for you. So I know a lot of people are going to skip out on Final Fantasy on PC unless they drop the price point and they get rid of that anti-cheat software.
Oh wow, that's crazy. What's going on with you, Rain? Damn, that I didn't even know anything about the anti-cheat stuff. I mean, I'm not trying to cheat on anything anyway. I mean but man, if it's going to mess up your performance, like I mean that's just
it might as well not be worth it.
Yeah, it's just not worth it, especially for $70. I don't know, but what about you, Ham Solo? What do you think that this is a smart move from Square Enix to go ahead and try to dip their toe into the $70 pool to see if these PC gamers are going to bite?
I think the only person that thinks it's smart is the head office in Square Enix. I don't think it's brilliant at all. Like, you hear all the backlash from $70 games, and I just don't know why somebody'd be like, you know what? Let's do it too. Like, I just don't understand that because, like with services like Game Pass and stuff like that around, it makes those kind of like price raises even less attractive to hurry up and go buy. Because it's like, man, I mean, like maybe Final Fantasy for some fans, because I know Final Fantasy is like just a massive game and some people don't care. It's almost like The Last of Us as well. I mean, some people just don't care. They're gonna go out and buy it if it's available to buy. But like for those of us that are like look at their wallet and they value every single dollar that's in it, and they're only going to give it to people that feel like, you know, they're doing them right. This is a disservice to those types of people. And I happen to be one of those types of people. I don't want to spend extra money, $10 more, when, I mean, you're essentially doing kind of the exact same thing that like PlayStation is doing and whatnot, is you're making me pay more for, I don't know, a little bit more detail, and I feel like that's just unnecessary.
All right. What about you, Spooky? Do you think that this is going to work for them? You think PC gamers are going to?
I think most PC players, and I dabble a little bit in PC. His response is going to be, "What are you smoking?"
That's already people's responses.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's been talked about just as a price point on console, and people haven't liked it in that regard. And PC players are so used to the price points that they've been paying for so many years now. I just don't think it's feasible or can work for PC. I really think it's a bad move.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yobi, what you got a take on this? I mean, what do you think? You think PC gamers are gonna succumb to the throat needle and say, yeah, I'm cool with $70?
Say the throat needle, Lord.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, Kay, I don't know, bro. I really don't have no say in this. Next.
Okay, so
Next,
for me,
I really have no say in this.
It's hell no. It's no. PC is the
It's
place.
hell no.
No. That's exactly it.
Where's that sound effect at?
I don't know where that sound effect is. I should have had it already ready to go, but it is not going to happen. They could try, but see, this is PC gamers are just too.
I mean, to be honest, they might cause a little ruckus because we're technically still in the pandemic, low key, little bit, but I'm pretty sure everybody getting their finances together. But hey, if you got the money, I'll say go for it. But it's gonna be some type of artwork.
Even then, it's not even worth it because it's not even a brand new game. So why should it even be worth $70?
The point. The game is 2 years old. The game is approaching 2 years old.
Not even Sony is putting their games at new release prices.
Yeah,
they thought about it, but they're not doing that on Steam.
Right,
at a reasonable price.
Yeah,
they're just doing it at a regular price of $60 or $50, and so that to me is just one of those things. Look, we understand that people are looking for it, and I want to get the game on PC. I got the game on PlayStation, but I just
same here, and the game looks beautiful too,
and the game is gorgeous. The game is fun, but I just for me it's like if this was a new title. Maybe, but this is PC. It's not my. Yeah, it's got to be the game that I know that I want, and I want to play it right now. Excuse me.
Yeah,
right
if
now.
It was brand new, then I think maybe some people would give this a little bit less crap.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just a maybe.
Because it's an old game, that's what's going against it.
Well, I feel like since it's the name Final Fantasy, they think they can flex it out like that.
Right. That's exactly what they think. And because the game sold very well for PlayStation, and they know that there's a demand for it. And the Xbox gamers, we want it. I still say that game is still going to be coming to Xbox eventually. Just like with Persona, I know a lot of people definitely have different thoughts, especially at what Atlas did with Persona 4 Arena Ultramax. But the thing for me is that you spend $1,000-some bucks for a rig, right? It's a little different to some degree. On a console, you pay $500 for a PlayStation, you pay $500 or you pay anywhere from $300 to $500 for these consoles, for the newer consoles. They are charging $70 for some of these games, and there's going to be people that's going to wait, and there's going to be some people that's going to bite. PC, they spend way more money for their rigs, and the reason for that is because of they want the best of the best. But the one thing that's always been attractive about PC is that they're pricing for their games, and even when the games come at $60. They eventually drop low in price within the first month or two for sure. And then there's always going to be a sale or something like that. But you got an older game like this to come over here and then to charge $70, that's just put a bad taste in your mouth, especially knowing that you can go on PlayStation and you can get the game for what, $40 now, $30?
Now, yeah,
so,
exactly.
So like that's just putting bad taste in people's mouths, and that's just getting people pissed off. And that's just not going to fly. That's just that they're a different type of animal over there. So will some people buy it? Yeah, but for the most part, they won't. And it got so bad that even Epic had to remove. It was Epic or it was Square Enix who removed the price point because there were so many people bitching about it. And Epic is also giving you a $10 discount for any game, but everybody knows what that $10 discount is for. So don't worry about it. Just go ahead and buy the game for $60. I mean, it'll show 70, but you'll get this $10 discount, and it'll be regular $60. So that tells you right there that the PC community ain't having that shit right off the bat. So it's
a pirate site for us over here on the PC.
Yeah.
And I was going to say too, I mean, if they didn't do that, what you just explained, K-Mega, that most of the PC crowd, as you said, they either wouldn't buy it or they'd just wait for it like a week or two later, whatever, a month later.
We just pirate it. We just fucking get an
right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other way. There's ways around it on PC, and that's the beauty of PC. So.
And then they'll go ahead and they'll give their favorite female protagonist big boobs or something, just to be an asshole. So, you know what I'm saying? So to throw it in Square Enix face. It's just don't. I understand that games cost more money. We all knew that gaming was going to cost more than it's ever been in its history. But to just kind of just throw that out there, and we're still in the pandemic, regardless of how people feel about the pandemic. You may hate it, you're sick of it, you may not believe it, whatever the case may be. We're still in the pandemic, and people are still suffering. People still have things that they need to do financially, and you're trying to hit people over the head for an older game. If this was a new Final Fantasy, then I would be kind of like, well, it is a new game. I know the PC gamers will figure it out themselves on that one. But with an older title like this, that shit should be $50, $60 max with the DLC. That, to me, that's just egregious from Square Enix. Anybody else got anything to say before we move on? All right, so let's go. Callie Rex's favorite company. I think he got stock in them. Tencent buys.
You dead ass wrong, Dave. You wrong.
Tencent buys Turtle Rock Studios. And Turtle Rock Studios, if you don't know about Turtle Rock Studios, they're the ones who brought it back for
You ain't
Blood.
shit for that game.
Oh man, I'm just saying.
Technically, Left 4 Dead is a spiritual successor.
Yes, it's Left 4 Dead spiritual successor. I think it's a great game. Unfortunately, I have not put a lot of time in it, even though I thought I was going to know life that game, because there was been so many other great games to play. I still want to come in there and play it with some friends, but everybody's preoccupied with everything else. So I'm eventually going to get it. I'm going to buy it, but I played it a couple of times on Game Pass. But this is and yeah, pretty soon we're going to have to buy it real quick, because I don't think that since Tencent got it, I don't think it's going to stay on Game Pass too much longer. So you better get that for the PC and for you Game Pass subscribers on PC and on Xbox. Y'all better go ahead and get ready to fork out that change to get that Back for Blood. But
I feel like it's gonna stay on Game Pass for the remainder because per contract, So
that game's not up. That game isn't it's not for Tencent to say where it goes, because that's published by WB.
Well, that is true. That is true. But I mean, I think, but normally for games on Game Pass that go away, they usually go away around 6 months. I haven't seen anything. First I was thinking it was like 90 days, but for the most part, games usually stay for 6 months and then they leave. But there's games that's been stayed on Game Pass for damn near a year and a half. Just think about for a second, which still trips me out that it's still there. It's been what? Has it been over? It'll be a year sometime next year for Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage is still in Game Pass, which trips me out. So
my friend Pedro on Game Pass left, and it came back around too.
You're right.
Well, to be fair, that is an indie game.
That is an indie game. You're right. But we're talking about, and the Outriders is still in Game Pass. So anyway, and I bought Outriders outright, which I'm not mad about buying Outriders. I know a lot of people say I should be, but I'm not. But what do you guys think about the whole Tencent thing? I mean, it doesn't matter who talks about this one. Because for me, this is just the business model. I mean, studios want to be scooped up, and Tencent and Ember's group is ready to get whoever's willing to be taken, seemed like.
Okay, I don't have a lot to say on this. I just want Tencent to let us know what are their true intentions.
It's making money. Shit, making money and ruling the world. That's their intention.
I know making money, but it gotta be something.
But the thing is, I wouldn't say just that because they are embedded with the Chinese government, so they do have ulterior motives.
Said rule the world.
all right, I'll give you that one.
Oh man.
Nah, but seriously, I've been hearing some kind of like rumors going on like that not only does the government want their businesses to influence businesses like out in the West, but they want like Western businesses to like side with the Chinese government. So I think there is an ulterior motive for like Tencent to buy companies and like other Chinese companies. So, but I don't know. It's just because Tencent has been very lenient. They've been like very hands off with the studios that they buy and other companies, which is it's just kind of all strange all over the place. But they have been becoming more aggressive in the gaming sphere more than anything with their purchases, because they purchased quite a bit of studios this year, including a publisher not that long ago. So
yeah, they bought the people of Warframe, didn't they? Yeah. The studio. Yeah. So
they own a lot, and including they also purchased what's it called, Sumo Digital here, which is also another huge publisher.
I was shocked about that. I was hoping Microsoft picked them up, but
so they are spreading their influence a lot through the gaming sphere. And yeah, like I told you guys before, like Tencent and Embracer are like the two biggest companies like put together practically now, where they own like 85% of the gaming industry. So it's like they're just massive. They're not slowing down either.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I don't know
if they announce their own system in the future.
I know the Chinese and that, and I don't know about their ulterior motives and that. Like, I won't talk on that, obviously. But the acquisition, I don't see it as bad. They're going to take that Microsoft approach. Apparently, they're going to Turtle Rock will still retain independent operations at its headquarters in Lake Forest, California. In addition, existing workforce headed by Phil Robb and Chris Ashton, they'll continue to run all the current operations as usual. Apparently, it's not going to affect Back for Blood in any shape or form. So we can, I suppose as gamers we can presume that its post-launch slate remains unchanged. And, from all accounts of what I've read, they're happy to be joining the Tencent family of studios, obviously because of Tencent's outstanding partners, its global reach, its deep knowledge of gaming, obviously with the amount of devs and that they've brought up over the years, and they'll have I suppose unprecedented support, create the kinds of ambitious games that they dream of, like any dev out there, but allowing them to retain their autonomy and independent spirit, I think's a good thing if that continues and they're allowed to basically work independently, like Bethesda, like Microsoft letting Bethesda, like, yeah, we bought you, but you're still Bethesda and you're still going to have that culture. Do your thing. We're just here to give you the money so you can make your dreams come true, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I agree with you too, Spooky. Is just that I mean, I agree with what CDW is saying too. I mean, every government has ulterior motives, especially for their own country, their own for some countries.
The thing you gotta realize though is the Chinese government like literally tells their people what to do, and they're not allowed to say anything like bad about the government.
Well, I know that. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, that's a whole nother can of worms. I mean, listen, business is business. I mean, money talks, bullshit walks. And yes, they're a Chinese company, but they also know that they got to play by the rules globally. Whatever that they do within their country is what they do. But globally, they have to follow certain rules. And especially within the gaming space, which it is, we're in a different time, a different era in the gaming because it's so global now. And so there's probably workarounds and things like that. But it is crazy that these studios now do want to be taken. Like it used to be. Remember back in the PlayStation 3, 360 eras? Well, Pally, I mean, you was probably like like 2 months old.
I didn't follow gaming that much, but like I know that developers didn't want.
You were still on the teat at that time, so yeah, you wouldn't know.
Back in those days, they wanted to keep their independence a lot more.
Right, that's the whole point. Back just 2 generations ago, it was the bad word to say that you was acquired by somebody, and so then all of a sudden. Now it's like, please pick me. I you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty crazy because they know how much money that's not only invested, but how much money that they want that like if they have a vision for a game, they really want to make it. They normally these smaller studios just don't have the bread to try to do it, and if they do come up with enough money to do it, there's still going to be shortfalls because. They're going to find out that it costs more than what they can afford. So these big companies definitely it's a benefit, but it is also but you do have to worry about a monopoly. And if Tencent keeps sucking them up, if Microsoft suck them up, Sony sucks them up, Embers Group keeps sucking them up. Then and I mean you don't have to really worry about Microsoft and Sony so much as you do. Embers Group and Tencent, because what did you say, Callie? It was how much did they? How many studios do they own overall?
Practically both these companies put together, Embracer and Tencent, they own 85% of the gaming industry.
That's nuts. That is nuts. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting, but okay, let's go ahead and keep it moving because so I got a couple of more topics and I want to get out of here. Let's see. What else do we have? I'm looking right here. Oh yeah, I want to talk about the Stalker situation because now I'm just as confused for people out here that people please in the chat. Let me know what this is and people in here on the panel. I seen Stalker had this. First I seen the article from Verge and it was pure clickbait, right? Like it come out to seem like that they were out here trying to hemorrhage money out of. Everyday gamers and over because of these, NFTs or NTFs or whatever you call them. And basically what it was when you read the article is that they were having like this thing where people can buy a character pretty much. And you have to go out there to the studio. They will scan you and everything, put your likeness in the game. And then you can have up to 3 of these NTFs or NFTs or whatever in the game, and they're not, and people had to pay to do this, right? So it was kind of like, yeah, okay. So like, let's say that I had enough money to go ahead and put in 3 of me, and I'm a really crazy badass super soldier that has all these enhancements, and you'll see me within the game and I'll be a tough out, right? Well, people went crazy and was acting like, well, this is just bad for gaming. Why would they do this? Why are people buying things in order to do it? Well, I don't know what the price was, but the price were astronomical to the point to where if people had to pay to get their face put in or their whole likeness put into the game, they had to fly out there to that studio. Then we're talking about a lot of money, more money than what the average Joe makes to want to go fly out and get our face and body scanned. So, Callie, I know that you've been onto this. I know a lot of people pay attention to this, but then Stalker 2, the developers of Stalker 2, they said, look, we seen people going crazy over it. Basically, we're just shutting it down. But to me, it felt like they were just trying to get extra income for them to increase the gaming experience. And they were not trying to do microtransactions to that degree or some other type of stuff like we've seen from Ubisoft and others. They were just trying to find another workaround for a person that is a fan of that studio or would like or have the type of money to put themselves in a game and go from there. So what do you think, since you've heard what I had to say, and are you still against what they're doing, or is it more of the thing like, well, yeah, that's kind of messed up. I would like to see more about what this could do leading into the future of gaming.
I mean, I don't really see the point of why NFTs need to be in games. Like, I understand the concept that you mentioned, like that, like players could pay for themselves to like be in the game and have certain powers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that part sounds interesting. Yeah. But like NFTs by themselves have a whole they have their whole little controversies in of themselves. Like I mentioned, like off the air before we went live, that they cause they have environmental issues going on behind the scenes where they use fossil fuels just because these NFTs need a lot of power to actually just stay on. So I believe that's where most of the controversy is coming from. The fact that these things are polluting our planet, and a lot of people care now. And also the fact that NFTs also have that little side controversy of stealing people's arts and selling them without the artist's knowledge or their without them like even getting a say in it. So that's where I think most of this controversy is coming from that aspect. But as for the gaming aspect, I think some people are expecting like maybe whoever the studio is, I forgot, it's something GDC World or whatever that's making this game, right?
GSC Game World.
Yeah, GSC
Game World.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are thinking that they might try to pull something like Ubisoft too, where they'll try to they want you to pay for it. They're going to make you try to earn it, like how Ubisoft has with their forcing you to play like 500 plus hours to unlock a certain piece of this NFT.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe people thought maybe they're going to be that kind of shady, that kind of just shady game company. But you might be right in the way that they thought hey, maybe we can make some money off of this from our most loyal fans, and that just kind of ended up backfiring on them.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Let me read the super chat from Sir X-Man, and if any of you guys got anything that you want to include to it, please do. Sir X-Man says in the chat, I'll pay $70 for my new Tomb Raider. Love that game. There will be people that will pay the $70 to get that, but there's two things that PC gamers particularly seem to hate. And that is they're not a fan of the Epic Store, and they aren't a fan of anything being raised upon them. So, or they feel like they're getting, taken for a ride. So it's just not a good look from that standpoint. If it's a new game.
I don't hate the Epic Store, but I just won't spend money on it.
Yeah, I think I bought 2 games from the Epic Store. I'm kind of just gotten used to Steam, but
I just like them for the free games.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do, but and they're going to be giving away a whole bunch of free games right now. I think within the month. So Anyway, anybody else know anything about this NTFs or want to comment on it and how you feel about it?
Yeah, the NFT, non-fungible token.
Yeah. I didn't know too much before doing a bit of research on what it was all about and stuff like that. Obviously, I was curious about the whole metahuman thing. I thought that was cool, in a technological standpoint into a game and stuff like that. So I think it's something that obviously needs to be explored and looked into and, run over several times before, they can really introduce. I mean, obviously there's a lot of trepidation about it, including from, big superstars like Keanu Reeves. And obviously they're not the only game makers that are beginning to explore the concept. We know that, over a week or so ago, Ubisoft was widely panned because they wanted to bring NFT gear to Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah, and EA has talked about it too.
Yeah, and then Peter Molyneux, known for his work on games like Populous, Black and White, and Fable. He's making this might work for him. He's making a business simulator where players buy an NFT and try to earn a new digital currency called Legacy Coin. So obviously he's creating something that's going to be Bitcoining and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Peter Molyneux, you gotta give it to Peter Molyneux.
He's a salesman.
Yeah, he's a salesman.
Yeah.
He is always trying to get that. He's trying to hustle. He's always hustling, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. So obviously in gaming at the moment, it's not being looked at in a positive light. But if they can explore it and make it work where it's, not going to be too costly for the consumer and that. And I don't know. It's just something obviously that has to be explored and looked into more if they're going to implement it in gaming, I guess, and make it, I guess, positive for the consumer. Because obviously with what Stalker wanted, that was going to cost you an arm and a leg. So in reality, you'd be paying not, $60 for a game, you'd be paying thousands because of travel costs and fucking God knows what. So, and like you said, Kate, that just wouldn't be possible for a lot of the world. They just wouldn't.
Right. That's why I'm like, why are you bitching about it? Like, you got that type of bread to do that. Like, for somebody who has that type of money, let them splurge it. If that's something that they would like, oh man, that would be cool. I would have liked to be in a video game. But you who don't have those type of resources to do that, and I get the overall feel about it. Like, oh well, now it's going to be where the people who has the money can get the better quality games, or that they'll put things behind a paywall unless you pay so much. I get it. But then not everything is always so blatantly disrespectful to the customer, because they can make a lot of money off of the few hundred of people that may want to participate, but they still need our dollars in order to get their game going to the direction that they want to go, so they can keep their lights on. So we still have the say so, but I think people just need to do better and get into and do the research a little bit better than just reading a headline and just going crazy on Twitter. I just thought that was just nuts, in my opinion.
I wanted to say something real quick. So like, my whole thing is like, I got questions for people. I don't care if it's the panel or the chat or somebody watching this later, whatever. Like, I'm curious, and this question probably can't be answered right now. How is this going to affect the person that's buying the game? Like, is this like these NFT things and whatnot? How are they going to affect my experience personally? Because I'm just buying the game, I'm playing the game, and depending on how good the game is, I'm gonna continue playing it or it's done. But like, I wonder that, and then I'm also kind of thinking like, who's gonna be that sacrificial lamb to just go out there and just let it fly? Because somebody's got to be, for everybody to get actual closure on what this all kind of means and does. All we're doing right now is just talking in a circle about what this could be, but nobody really knows. Everybody's just worried. It's like, it reminds me of like a Y2K, but for gaming.
Oh yeah.
Like we're all flipping out, but we don't really know why. So like those are my kind of like comments towards it. Like, it's a big question mark, and we're always quick to say no, like, don't do anything, don't change anything. But like, we don't really quite understand the benefits of what could come out of it. Like you said, some small indie developers could possibly really benefit and make something incredible. Of course, there's going to be people to take advantage of stuff, but that's just the world that we live in. So I'm just kind of curious, who's going to be that sacrificial lamb to come up and get and take all the flack and still do it, and possibly show us whether it can be fungible or not.
Someone needs to step up, be a guinea pig, so to speak.
Right, pretty much. And my last point on this is that I totally agree with what everybody has been saying on the panel, but I look at this kind of like the digital DRM thing with the Xbox One, and how everybody went crazy about that. Well, who wants digital? Digital isn't, I want my hard copy games. And now it was the same thing. Like, now, look, if X and just with, if you got, like you guys said that y'all watched the documentary, they had a plan on how to use that and how that would benefit. And remember, there were articles back then that was trying to explain. Now, Xbox did a piss poor job of trying to explain that to the fan base, but they had a plan to, if it worked, if people accepted it, then when you look in when digital content was going to be the primary thing going forward, which it is now, there's more people buying digital copies of games than there are hard copies. The thing of it is that now everybody's complaining like, well, I would like to have a digital store. Well, Xbox was going to make that move with what they were doing. They just wanted to solidify themselves first where they wouldn't get cheated or manipulated by people who knew how to scam the system. And but then there goes the outrage, and then all of a sudden, then everything changed, and then they had to back out. So here we look at this situation. Now, look, it could be awful. I have no idea, but I think there's a lot of us out here that are ignorant to what these companies are trying to do, and not all these companies are trying to do something to totally just dismantle our wallets. Like, they're trying to find ways to preserve themselves, give gamers what they want, but they're trying to find a different alternative to where they can make more income. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, there's other ways that these companies can exploit you, but I don't know. For me, I just kind of look at this as a situation that's like, man, let's just be patient, find out what they're doing, and then when we all are aware, then we can come out with the pitchforks.
Okay, let me tell you something, bro.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. For all the people who caused the ruckus about the Xbox One and its digital thing, I'll say all them people are full of shit, because when they released that new dashboard updates for the Xbox 360 and they started allowing us to save our disc games to our hard drive, and then after that they brought out the whole we added games to the Microsoft store on the 360 where you could buy games and you could install them straight to your hard drive. They ain't saying nothing about that shit back then. They all full of shit.
Yeah, no, they started listening to content creators that was bitching. That was the craziest thing.
Because when they did that on 360, I thought that was the greatest thing ever.
Oh man, that's what first got me to get on live. Seriously,
yeah.
They're like, oh, this is pretty cool. But again, like when you listen to people that are more PC oriented, that already knew about DRM and things of that nature, but then yet they weren't telling the console community that. They just went to have a reason just to rant and rave and say that this is bad for you. I don't know, man. It was pretty crazy to me. But anyway, last topic, and then we get out of here. And that is talking about the Gunk. Now, I don't know if you guys got a chance to play it. I played it last night. The game is it's not anything that's spectacular. But it's a beautiful indie game that has a lot of potential from my perspective. I mean, it's not a AAA banger, quote unquote, but it seems like a really solid game made by indie, and it's beautiful. The graphics is absolutely astounding. But my problem is the review bombing.
Did you see it, bro?
I seen a couple of them, and I'm going to go back and read some more. But I'm just kind of like,
terrible.
Now, has the console. So this is just everybody. We can just talk about it. I don't have to just select anybody, and then we'll just just talk about it. But has the console war game shit gone too far? Like, I mean, has it got? Because I've never seen anything like this. I've seen people sit here and say they got love for one console over another, but now to have yourself go onto an internet or on your phone or wherever, go into a review, go to Metacritic and type venom about a game because it's not on your platform, or to just come out. I mean, what the hell is going on now? This doesn't seem like gamer shit to me anymore. This seems like it's just personal hatred for something that isn't on a particular console. What is going on here, fellas? Why are we at this level right now?
You know what? I'm gonna go first. Yes. I think this is just the same shit that people have always been doing in this console war shit.
No, not like this.
Yeah, not like this. Yeah. Because a lot of games get review bombarded practically. Yeah. It's just that this is an indie game. Yeah.
No.
Published by Xbox.
I have never seen anything okay. I have been buying
Game bro, Informs. Not like this. Not like this.
What makes this different than what most people review bomb?
All right, so I'm going through and I'm looking at, so you get a review for a game back when when people were getting into No Power and Game Informer and all these other magazines, EM Weekly, all them others. And you would read people that would say things that's like, oh, this game wasn't really good to me. I didn't really like it. But they would just say they didn't like it. I never seen people say, and maybe the editors took out the hate shit, but we never seen anything like this until just in the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 era. It started getting nasty, but now it's got to a point where it's just absolutely just stupid. Like, I don't get it.
Okay, I want to make sure first. Like, is it just the critics that are review bombing it, or is it like
no? It's people. Like one comment, for example, one comment I can see
just
right
people
here.
in general.
This guy gives it a 0 because it's not Russian. Are you kidding me? Are you bloody kidding me? He gives it a 0 because it's not Russian. And then another guy gives it a 0. He goes, boring and cringy. It does not compare to, say, a game like Halo or Far Cry 6. Well, why are they comparing it to a AAA games? That's insane.
Right. Like,
that's insane. It doesn't have it has probably not even a quarter of the budget of a AAA game. And
I saw one comment last night. I saw one comment last night, and someone a review on it. Someone put gay and black. Like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why are y'all being like this?
I've seen a lot of comments about obviously the characters. I guess you could say skin tone. I've seen a lot of comments about the body parts missing, of the character. It's like, what? Who cares? That's the way they wanted to design their character,
Yeah, like, I mean, because the characters are okay. So, like, I don't know if you've ever seen like claymation type of characters. These are kind of claymation type characters, the way that they look, and so like they got like 4 fingers or 3 fingers. It's the art style. It's not like they forgot that the characters need to have 5 fingers. It's just the way that the character models are built. Like, I mean, and
they're not going for realism either. So they don't really need to go for 5 fingers, 5 toes, and they don't have to look human.
but how the hell are they supposed to be real when this is a spaceship out in space that goes into a planet that's because they're scavengers. And they look for, and they're looking for, trying to find a way to get paid. Now that's the only realest thing about it, that they're trying to find ways to get paid and not do it anymore. And then they stumble on the Gunk, and then there's a story tied into it. And I'm just like, it's just like any other game. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to. It's its own little individual indie game. I don't see a problem with it.
I think people are wrong in review bombing this game. Like, it is an indie, and like. I saw FC Violent post like his thoughts about it. He played it, I guess, and he said that like he thought it was like an average game. He didn't think anything was wrong with it. But like, if it's just an average game, like, why do people bother even just like review bombing it? Like,
well, that's my point. Like, I've never seen this before. Like, normally, from what I understand, from how like I look at it, from like I said, going back and you reading comments about certain games that they talk about. Because there was a section when they talk about the reviews of games in the old magazines, and then afterwards they would let the community write about whatever games that the score was, and then or they'll have them talk about the next following week or whatever. But you had people that were saying, "Oh no, that game sucked. That game was just not good. I think that it was broken. It was this, that." But you never heard somebody just go out and say that, to the levels that they are. And now these people got this access to go in and just review bomb something.
People have always had this access ever since Metacritic like went online, practically.
Yeah. So when did Metacritic go online? When did Metacritic go online?
That I'm not sure about. But I've seen people like review bomb games like this before.
No, I have
just
too.
Like, random shit.
This is more, but no, I'm talking about in the last 10, 12 years. This has been, I've never seen anything like this. I've been gaming since I was 3 years old, back in 1978. So I'm like, this is crazy to me. Like, I've never seen anything like this. So I don't get it.
This is why I don't pay attention to reviews, dude. This is why I don't pay attention. Instead of looking at the reviews and seeing what people thought, I played the game for over 6 hours yesterday. And I got pretty much to the very end of the game. I think I'm close to beating it, but I'm not sure. And there's some pieces in that game that definitely need some fixing. There needs to be some idea of where kind of you need to go. In some aspect, it's kind of open, and it just kind of lets you kind of figure it out for yourself, which is kind of nice. But I'd at least like to beacon some certain area, like, hey, like, where is the spot I can go to the beacon to get back to the main hub or something like that. So there are some pieces of that game that are kind of missing. There are some weird glitches sometimes within the game, like, but all in all, I thought the game was pretty fun. It's very similar to Kena, in the aspect of you are cleaning up an area so the world can reopen and be as beautiful as it was meant to be. The fighting can feel kind of repetitive at times, but the more it builds, the more you're starting to feel like you're like bouncing around and doing stuff, and it actually feels like you're like doing a little bit of dodging for your life at times, where it feels kind of cool. But I mean, review bombing it is just kind of like weird. And as for your question about like, has like the whole console wars thing gone overboard? It's been going overboard for over a year, I think. It's just like people are starting to finally get sick of it. That's what it is like people are actually like, because at first it was funny and it was like, whatever, like we have these clowns over here talking and it's funny to listen to every once in a while. I mean, even certain big time people that have followers label themselves as comedians, and people forget that, like, they will say anything to get likes. Right. So I just think that it's been overboard for a while, but people are starting to be like, dude, your repetitive whining is really getting old. I've been hearing it for years, and it's time for me to unfollow and follow somebody else that has something. They don't have to be completely positive all the time, but you gotta
like something. Shit.
Yeah. Well, like you can't just be. You can't just be a blanket hater. And I feel like people are revealing themselves on whether they play games or not. More and more every day, because people will say these blanket things on Twitter every day. I seen somebody calling Halo a walking simulator yesterday. And I was like, did you realize you can get a vehicle? Like, you don't have to walk. Like, it's just people are just saying stuff just to get some clout, and it's it's out of pocket.
Okay. That's it. Heard.
It's just time to stop with all that nonsense, because it gets everybody nowhere, and nobody really gets a good review because it's just BS. No one has an honest opinion.
There are people that give good reviews, but they're like, those aren't the people that are just like trash talking stuff.
Well,
but those reviews get screwed up because of all these fake reviews, so you don't get an honest score at the end of the day.
No, and that's the problem that I have. Like, I mean, this game got ripped to shreds, but it still had a 71, right? So I'm looking at it like, okay, I mean, the game is still looked at as average, saying from these standpoints. But then when we get to this, when we look at it, and people are like, well, 80s are like the new 60s, like until it's a PlayStation game or something of that nature. Like, oh well, no, that's a good quality. Like, you don't make any sense. Like, I mean, stop trying to. Why don't you just say, look, man, I hate all things Xbox, or I hate all things PlayStation, and just go from there. And then people can decide if they want to listen to you or not. But I just look at it like, oh damn, yo, them dishes is loud.
My bad, bro.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was at work, not in the kitchen.
Well, no, he was that wasn't dishes. That was one of them those mannequins' leg he broke. You know what I'm saying?
Shut the fuck
up. So anyway, that knee. So to put them knee highs on it, you gotta go ahead and snap that thing back in. But anyway, I don't know, man.
Drink water, Cayman.
I'm drinking water right now. Thank you, sir. Hold on, I'll take a sip right now.
You gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated, especially dealing with my boy.
Thank you for reminding us, Joby.
Thank you. But I just find it to be. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, no. If I don't like a game, I'm not going to try. I'm not getting on this podcast or making videos talking about how much I can't stand a game. Or trying to convince people, well, you shouldn't like this game because I don't like this game. What you eat don't make me shit. I do not care what you like or what you don't like. It doesn't matter. If how you play your games is how you play your games. Well, I think how you play games is garbage. You should play games on the highest difficulty every time, or you need to play games on an easier difficulty. Let me play. Well, you need to beat that game right then and there when you buy it. No, I don't. If I spent this money on this game, I'll play it how I want to. If I want to sit on it for a year and then play it, I will. If I want to sit on it for 7 years and play it, I will. If I want to play it right then and there, I will. Nobody should tell anybody how they should play games, especially when everything that these people do is always berate gamers for gaming. That just don't make any sense. How is it that we're supposed to enjoy gaming when everything that comes out their mouth is about hating gaming? That's just not being a gamer.
See, the thing that I think, as you've all said, at first it may have been, funny when it was all first just starting and that. Now it's just bloody tiresome. And the thing for me is I find it a little bit nosy. Sticking your nose in other people's business.
Oh, yeah.
Why does Tommy, why is it affecting, just an example, why is it affecting Tommy if Joni is a PS fan, and why is it affecting Joni that Tommy's an Xbox guy? It's not. They're the ones buying their, so it should only mean something to them. And they shouldn't be worrying about, what such and such is buying or what they're playing. Just let them enjoy it. If they're spending their money on it, they're enjoying it, let them enjoy it. It's not affecting you. And it seems like people, these people, they just like sticking their nose where it doesn't belong and feel that they have to have a say and trying to get in people's heads no, you're with the wrong thing or you're playing the wrong thing. You got to come over here. And it's just no, just let people. That's why people are people. They've got their own minds. They've got their own choices. Let them, play what they want. Let them buy what they want. Let them enjoy what they want. You know what I mean?
Right. I think people just want. No. I totally agree.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought you was done. I'm
sorry. You're good, bro. I just think it's just gotten tiresome and the whole review bombing. If you don't like the game, well, take the old saying. If you've got nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all.
Facts. And how I look at it from this standpoint is look, if somebody's over here asking, let me see your achievements. How about you show me your wife naked in the bathroom? You know what I'm saying? I'm taking a shower. Show me.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Right there.
You know what I'm saying? Show me. No, I mean, look, you're asking to go into my private shit and ask me for whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? I'm prying. I'm going to be looking and doing this. And I understand, when you look at this gaming compared to when you say, look at somebody, look at somebody's woman naked or some shit. But I mean, that's how it's why are you so concerned about it? Well, you do this and you talk about the game. Yeah, and I beat these games. I post these games. I sit there and I stream these games. See nothing from these people. Nothing. You don't see any type of gameplay from these people.
TK Mega, go ahead, my bad.
Crazy. No, I'm done.
Well, I won't obviously mention names, obviously, but say one of these guys who's got a decent following. Well, he got caught out last week by I know it's Alex, trying to review or comment on a game that he'd put in 4%. Which to me, I'm sitting there going, so you walked a couple of steps, you had a sneeze, you had a shit, and that's it.
Pretty much.
How can you comment?
Well, see, K-Mega, where I'm kind of at on it is I'm just thinking like, like I'm okay with the critical review. I'm okay with somebody not liking something and posting about it. I'm fine with that. I mean, if anything, the world needs more criticism.
Yes.
But criticism that is in the fashion of helping instead of in the fashion of stripping down and just trying to make you feel like crap. So like I'm 100% okay with somebody giving it a low score. But at the same time, I want you to expand upon why this is a low score. When you go to a restaurant and you leave a review, a positive review, you're detailing why the review was or why your experience there was positive. Hey, I got this game, this clerk was very helpful. They helped me to through the checkout process and made sure that I got this proper discount. Like, you explain why you had a good experience in the game. You see it all the time with gamers on Twitter. They'll tell you, wow, Horizon, it just looks absolutely unbelievable, and the story looks better, and Aloy looks like she has more emotion in this game. Like you hear all that positive stuff. But when somebody goes to shoot something down, they just call it dog shit, or they call it stupid, or they call it boring or lame or not graphically not graphically like good, or whatever you want to call it. Like, you like if you're gonna not like something, be specific about it, because you have developers that go and look at this stuff and they're just like, all right, well, like, I mean, you got to think there are some people that are pretty passionate about what they do, and they're just like, I don't want to work with this team because I feel like every time I put out something for them, we get ran over. I'm gonna go work for this team where I get some respect from the fans and stuff like that. So like, I don't like it. I like criticism. I'm cool with that. If somebody sees something fucked up on my face and they're like, yo, man, you need to take that off, that helps me. It makes me feel stupid.
Right.
But that helps me. But
you're talking about legit constructive criticism.
Right.
Yes, please. Like, I'm 100% happy with constructive criticism. Yeah. But this open blanket, this sucks, when we know the game's been out for less than, X amount of time, and it's like, put some more meat on that. Put some meat with the potatoes and tell me why. Why is this so bad for you? Why did this ruin your day? Like expand.
Right.
Yeah, expand on it. Yeah, exactly. Instead of just using like a couple of words, like explain why. And that way it gives. In a developer sense, it gives them, they appreciate constructive criticism. Oh, okay, look, we think this is good, or it's a good idea, but you just haven't pulled it off right. If you did this and changed this, and it helps. Like Ham was saying, it does help. As long as it's constructive, it's a beautiful thing, and I still think there's a need for that. We can't just go around praising everything, otherwise, nothing's ever going to change or get better in certain areas in the world, and in gaming as well. So I definitely think constructive criticism is a good thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No, absolutely right. No, that's it. I just feel like, man, damn. Like, I mean, yeah, it was fun. And I get it, and it's okay to take jabs at certain things to just be cute. But now but when everything that comes out your mouth about the opposite console that you don't normally play on, or that you don't like if it's a big hit for an Xbox gamer, or a big hit for a PlayStation gamer, or a big hit for a Nintendo gamer, and then the first thing you just come out with is just saying try, then I mean, that doesn't mean shit. I mean, you just hear it for shock and awe, and it's done so much that it's like, okay, I got you. And it just makes them, like, like Solo said, it messes up the true Metacritic score. That's why I never gave a damn about it, because if you don't police these people properly, we won't know a proper score. And it goes also too when people give games 10s. I don't believe in giving games 10s unless they deserve it. For anybody that gave Halo a 10, Halo Infinite a 10, no, it's not a 10. It is a great game. It's a fantastic game, but it's not perfect. And so I look at that, but at least I can understand you giving giving games a higher score than you just giving games zeros. I mean, like, that's just, I don't know. But anyway, all right, guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. It was great. I hope these knuckleheads one of these days will come back and when we start doing GRG going into.
Why we gotta be all that, man? Damn.
Well, because I knew that you was gonna say something. Okay, so.
So you just baited and switched on me, gotcha.
I did the Tencent on you.
Well, to be fair, you didn't fall for it, Yobi.
Yeah, you did. Everybody else was quiet. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get out of here, man. Let's go ahead and do our sign outs. But man, really do appreciate you guys coming through, man. Like I said, I hope you guys, hope I didn't run y'all away. Hope y'all will come back again one of these days in the future. And so we'll first start off with Spooky. Man, thank you, man. Thank you, brother, for coming, man. First time on the show, man. I hope it's not the last. Where can everybody find you at, man?
Yeah, definitely won't be the last. I've had a bunch of fun with you guys. It was an honor to come on here and join you fellas and chop it up.
It was an honor to have you on, man.
Yeah, you can find me on the Spooky Sprocket everywhere, Twitter, YouTube, on the Xbox there. And, of course, I will be doing my podcast, The Spotlight, tomorrow night with my guest, Fonzarelli. So that should be an interesting listen for those that have got
good guess.
to join in.
Guess.
Yeah. So, you can find me there. And, again, thank you again, fellas. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No doubt. All right. Yobi! I know you go there, you still working on that. You still at work, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, how many mannequins have you put pantyhose on? Tonight. I mean, while you was on the man, come on, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's what she said.
All right, so that's cool. I'm just saying.
No, you know what? You'll be taking those pantyhose off of them.
Talk your shit.
Oh my God! Anyway, we're talking about mannequins.
Hey, but
we're not talking about a real lady. Hey. Okay. Anyway, where can they find you at, Yobi?
You know I was bluffing. You know damn well I wasn't gonna miss this show.
Man, I thought you was. I was like, I'm not gonna ask again because you was like, no, I ain't coming. And I was like, okay, all right, I ain't, you know me. I ain't trying to look. I'm not about the conflict no more. I just keep it moving. I don't care.
No. Because hey, listen, if I can do retro renegades one night at work and do this and do that, I can do the same thing. So yeah, I wasn't gonna miss this.
Oh yeah. Well,
end of the year GRG show. So thank you for having me.
Year. Oh yeah.
Y'all can find me at
happy that you came through, brother.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm at Dragonheart Yogi on Twitter, DHeart Yogi on Xbox Live, # Peace Love Life. That's where you'll find me. Everybody have a happy 2021. We made it through. We made it another year.
Well, I mean, shit, we still got a couple more weeks to go. Don't set people up for failure. Okay, all right.
It's about being positive. Stop being a negative Nancy. God damn.
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, just call me the pilot in Halo. No, we gotta go anyway.
Is he really that negative?
He is very negative.
Oh my God, bro!
I thought that was just like played. I thought that was just played up in the beginning.
No, he does get annoying as hell. Like I'm like, if this dude don't shut the hell up, man. Chief, just punch this dude in the gut. Let him fall asleep, and then just keep fighting. But there's a man. Put his ass to sleep, man. But there's a part that's really serious, and that it really comes down, and then then all that changes. So yeah, it's really cool, man. Really cool. Okay, so Yobi, you done?
I guess so. He said, I gotta get back to them pantyhose, putting them on the mannequin legs.
Yes, I'm done. Shut your ass up, okay?
All right, man, Ham Solo, man, again, man, thank you, brother, man. I'm thank you for taking the bad call so late. But man, I do appreciate it, man. Every time that you come on, man, you're so insightful. Got some good stuff, man. Yeah, where can they find you at?
All right. Yeah, I appreciate the invitation to come on always. I think this is like the third episode I've been on here with you.
It is.
So I'm very happy to come back anytime you need an extra person and I'm available. I'll hop on with you. But anyways, you can find me HamSolo05 Gaming on Twitter. That's going to be your easiest way to talk to me if you want to do an episode of Behind Them Sticks with me and just kind of talk your stuff and answer the questions that I have. I pretty much ask kind of the same kind of questions each episode just because I like getting different answers from each person. I always think that's fun. But on YouTube, if you want to subscribe, it is TSWS Gaming. There's like a little world picture on it, but yeah, They Said We Said is the channel, and we have two other people, including me, which would be Kalala Plays and Loke7. Loke7 is very active on Twitter. Kalala Plays is actually my lady. She's a gamer, and that's one of the reasons I love her. So yeah, that is where you can find me. Come holler at me if you're interested in doing an episode or have any questions or concerns. Show.
Nice. And
you can also find me Tuesday nights, Retro Renegades at 7 p.m.
You said that already.
No, I didn't. Shut up.
You said Retro Renegades. Well, you said, okay.
I didn't say that. No, I did not.
I
did not. I didn't say that.
7 p.m. You talked about Retro Renegades. I thought you said at the time.
I did not say that earlier. I just talked about it now.
Oh yeah. One more thing. We have 2 new episodes, like I said, coming out next week. Tuesdays and Thursdays are when the episodes are. Tuesday is going to be Randall 419, the man with the million, and then on Thursdays it's probably going to be Sticks, but depends on what Peter Cottontail has going on.
Peter Cottontail, boy.
It's one of my main guys from the early days.
I was going to say Peter Cottontail. That's a wild ass name. I'm just thinking of the rabbit. But yeah, okay, all right. So last but not least, we got our boy Callie Rex. Now, look, Callie asked me a question before the show, and he was saying, "Hey, man, do you like have people, give you gameplay or something like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you want to give me gameplay, that's cool."
I completely forgot. But okay. Here's my thing. Yeah. I recorded all the gameplay on the PS5, and I forgot. Okay. The PS5, because the PS5 recording software, it fucking records it in a different format than how it is on the PC.
Damn.
It records it doesn't record it in the usual MP format or whatever. It records it in a completely different format. So whenever you try to transfer that footage onto a flash drive, it when you try to play that footage on your computer, it looks it doesn't play at all. It just doesn't work.
Oh wow.
So I couldn't get that footage.
But that's fine. Well, you can give that footage to me. We ain't coming back until next year anyway. So
yeah.
But yes, all this gameplay you see here is all me, baby. You know what I'm saying? It just shows you the
that's why it looks trash.
Shit. let these old fingers just do the work. But anyway, thank you guys so much. But Callie Rex, where can they find you at, brother? Can't wait for you to make your great, marvelous return. And hopefully, like I said, if everything goes well as planned, we'll get ready to start. We'll get back into talks of doing the podcast that we talked about. And yeah. Where can they find you though before that, brother?
Well, you guys can find me at my own YouTube channel, Callie Rex, and I do my own show, Extinction Level Gaming. And I'm currently in the process of actually trying to find some main panelists for my show, just some mainstay people. So I'm recruiting, and if anyone's interested, just hit me up.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, very.
Because you go into the deep lore. He brings them deep sewer rat PlayStation fans out. So yeah.
This man said sewer rat. Right.
So I'm gonna have to be on that show a few times. So I can go when them sewer rats is out there. What's up, man? What's up?
Sewer rats.
Yeah, them sewer rats, them gutter rats, man. They be coming out of the ground, and then they talk about, you know, they don't see no sun. They don't see no sunlight. They ain't got no women, man. They be up there just be, hey, Xbox, and then they write on Twitter, man, and then they go back in their sewer. But that's it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Anyway.
You guys can also find me on my Twitter. I actually recently got back my main Twitter, CaliRex01. So if you guys can follow me there, you guys can follow that, or you guys can follow my extra account now, CaliRex011.
Oh, you got what you call it accounts? You got ghost accounts.
You got a burner account.
That's
what
it got. Oh, that's what you're doing. Oh, snap. Anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much, man. The links is in the description, Yobi. I'm going to add you in there after we get off, and then thank you guys, man. Again, hope you guys have a good, safe year. You know, hey, man, as I always say, man, I know that some of you people don't like me saying it, but I want to say it anyway, man. Get your ass vaxxed. You know what I'm saying? I got my booster shot. And I'm you know what? I'm kind of disappointed because, you know what I'm saying, from all those rumors.
Hey, Megan wants to do the pants off dance off.
Yes, I want to get the pants off dance off popping up. Well, I got to live vicariously through other people because I am married. So I can't be just going out there looking for strange for change. I got a wife, and that's going to cause problems at home. But I want other people to be out there, to get out there and do the damn thing, because it's just not safe right now. Because, you know what I'm saying, you got Omicron, you got Unicron, you got Delta, you got Smelter, you got all types of shit going on.
Man, listen, let's be honest. This is not COVID no more. This is called the Transformer variant.
Yeah, but regardless of whatever the case may be, but you know what? But the one thing the one thing I got to say is I'm disappointed because after listening to all this rhetoric about like the jab isn't safe, and then you get magnetized. I thought by now, like, having this third booster shot, like, well, my third shot, because I had to get the booster, I thought I would be like Saber Wolf or something by now. I thought I would grow a goddamn tail or have some horns or something, but I'm fine. So people stop giving out that bullshit, that misinformation, man. When I got my booster shot, I didn't walk past anybody. I just seen Spider-Man. I didn't have people's keys come magnetized to me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't turn to Electro. So, man, go ahead, man. I guarantee you, my last point is that I guarantee you'll get the jab if you go ahead and you mess with the wrong person.
Spider-Man was fire.
Spider-Man was amazing. Best Spider-Man movie ever. Best Spider-Man movie ever.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there in a few minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, so we gotta get out of here.
Yo, it's from start to finish. It is so good.
Yeah,
so good.
But you dirty bastards out there, you'll get a penicillin shot. You'll get a jab in your ass before, you know what I'm saying? If you can get a jab in your ass, you don't know what's in that damn jab when you over here getting that penicillin shot. But you afraid of saving other people's lives with the COVID thing. Get the hell out of here. Stay here, people. See y'all next year. Hope everybody's safe. Have a Merry Christmas. Had a Happy Hanukkah. All of that. Happy New Year. Be safe. God bless y'all. Always love. Peace, guys. We are out.
Love life.
Later.
Oh,
Later.
Peace.
All right, guys. I'm out of here. Gonna go watch that.
All right.
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG Podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. This was the GRG Podcast.